Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on the CBLOL English stream. My name is 4x4. That is Roodood, and we've got the first game, or first series, I should say, of our Split 1 playoffs. It's going to be Los Grandes versus Fluxu. This is the 4-5 matchup, technically. Everybody starts in the upper bracket, but we've got full best of 5 Fearless from here on out. Roodood, how are we doing on Saturday?
I'm doing really well. I'm actually really excited for this series. We saw these two teams play like literally last weekend. So we kind of know what we're getting in for. And if what we had last weekend is any indicator, we're in for some good fun at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of what, as we can, we can pull up the rosters here and kind of get cracking on chatting about these two teams. I think, Roodood, the conversation that we were having off air, and like you said, the conversation that kind of stretched over from last week is that these two in a best of 5 should, if nothing else, be pretty entertaining because these are two flawed teams. It's not that they can't grow into themselves and, all the niceties that, we have to couch this, but like these two teams, I don't think anyone besides the fans of the teams, and even most of the fans of the teams, could look you in the face and say, with the current landscape and context, these guys are, they could win it all. I mean, they could because it's Brazil and anything can happen, but but I think I'll say it's good that this isn't like traditional sports, and it's not like, okay, you play this best of 5, and because it went 5 games, you were just battered and bruised, and you played the maximum amount of days, and now you have the fewest amount of days off before you have to go play. Red Canids are for you, right? You could just take a week. You had an exhausting day, great. You could take a week and scrim, because I think these two teams could beat the snot out of each other.
Yeah, and that's probably what's going to happen here. I think our expectation is that this is going to be at least a non-3-0 series. Odds of a 3-2, I'd say relatively high, relative to the majority of the playoffs that we've got coming up, and relative to the other scores, I think is the better way of phrasing it. You're quite right. So with both of these teams having played just last weekend, it was a 3-1. It was a pretty sordid affair, I want to say, if I'm remembering correctly. So I'm not too sad about the fact that these two teams have got to play up against each other once again, and I'm also very happy that we get to see it this time in a best of 5 format instead.
Yeah, and then we get to really go back to kind of the discussion that I guess I've become like the champion of, which is that Los Grandes are a solid if unspectacular team, and the big thing that in kickoff when they won the regular split and just BO1s, and then pretty quickly got exposed as far as when the best of series showed up. Now in this split, they went 4-3 with a 9-9 map score, right? Like again, solidly middle of the pack, right? Tied with Fluxu actually as far as series score, but they won the head-to-head, so that's why they ended up in 4th. But Roodood, I think the champion pools are something that I think for Los Grandes fans, they're going to be, I think, sweating over a little bit. This has been a bit of their Achilles heel as 2026 has rolled on. I think they've gotten better at it, but they still have, a way they like to play.
They do, and especially in a best of 5 as well. This is the type of place where it's not just going to get to be a bit sweaty. It's going to be like exposed if we go the distance, right? So we'll keep our eyes out for what that looks like for both of these two teams. And I think that for, like you say, Los, they're going to be maybe a little bit more skeptic about their chances as the game goes later, but I do think that that's when you start to see I don't want to call it like the one-trick nature of some of these players is selling it wrong, but like the random pocket picks that these players will have, it's game 5s where your coach is like, well, they've banned 4 junglers, 8 of them are already off the cards. Like, all right, fine, you get to play Nidalee this game, like that kind of vibe. Is sort of encouraged almost as we move into a later game in the series. But when we've got Los, who we've said I think come into this for me as the underdogs, I would say Fluxu are more likely to come out with a win here if I had to sort of put my prediction out early on. I do think that the random surgence of Peach has done really well for this team, and if he's up and kicking, then I've no reason to expect that they can't do great things in this one.
Yeah, and I think with Fluxu, as we
the VKS roster is out. Have we got the wrong series? What?
Okay, well,
why are they on today? This is very bad business from us.
Okay, look, in our defense, I'm staring at Leaguepedia right now, and I see Saturday 9 a.m. I'm on Western Pacific time. Los Grandes versus Fluxu.
They could just be doing like an introduction for the...
somehow I doubt that.
For the playoffs,
Somehow I doubt that.
No, they've just sat behind the computers, so I doubt that too. This is not our fault. This is also this is a product of bad planning by some people. Someone on Twitter will know what's happened.
Yeah, and no one involved, and neither me nor Roodood nor our fantastic producer Dia, who is in my ear telling me that LoL Esports also has the wrong schedule.
Yeah,
yes,
we're gonna put it up on stream.
Get us out of
we're
this
absolving ourselves of our sins right now.
Just put it on the stream. This is. Oh man, I mean, look, okay, but shifting gears a little bit while Dia absolves us.
Yeah.
Look, this should also be a very chaotic series because because we've got Loud. They are I think they are well, it's crazy because they're the 6th seed. That being said, I have more confidence in Loud because I don't know because I feel like all of 2026 I've been waiting for the real VKS to please stand up, and we have not gotten it.
I'm just as caught off guard by VKS, generally speaking, as I am by the fact that I've now got to commentate them instead of the other 2 teams that I thought we were on for. But I think I'm actually a big fan of Sorolu, and I think that's going to be
he's been great since he's come in. Yeah,
he has, and I think that's going to be their ticket here. Looking at Young Jay, I think there was obviously back end of the CBLOL Cup, they really hit their stride. I don't know what happened in between that and their appearance at First Stand, where I think that they were a very serviceable team, and then we get to see them have this meteoric fall really into this split. But I don't know that Young Jay is going to be the person that can carry them over the line again up against Sorolu, who I think has, and I saw in the name tag there, is starting, but I think can do some pretty good things here.
Yeah, I think. Look, I do think that the jungle will be really, really interesting because, to your point, right? Young Jay, he's been a bit of a flipper. He has not been the most consistent, but look, Loud have won championships with a better, more polished version of that type of jungler as we get into draft here. Kate are gonna get first pick. Loud on the blue side, but yeah, Loud made a roster move of their own. They subbed in Uzent. Redbert is no more until, of course, he will pop up in the middle of 2027 when some other team has a support crisis and he gets subbed in. But for now, Redbird is no more, and we've got Uzet has come in, and I think again just kind of been he's been a bit more well-rounded than Redbird. God love him. Look, he ended his career on a high, right? A champion. Took Lion to 5 games at an international event. Yeah. But yeah, he is out for now as we get into bans. Nefiri rising in priority is a bit of a pocket pick, right? I mean, you don't kind of see, but you tell me. In China, we've seen Nefiri, right?
A little bit, yeah. There's also with Nefiri bans coming through, it's also the answer to Varus top, surprisingly enough. So if you see Varus get let through in any way, Nefiri tends to be the answer, which is not the world that I necessarily thought we would be in, but we're there anyway. And Rumble B1 CBLOL, it's not B1, it's R1, whatever. First pick Rumble, welcome to the CBLOL,
Yep. Yeah, we are back in 2024. It feels like, but Rise going to be locked in, and then the Cassante right afterwards. So very much showing their cards loud and how they want to play this one out. A little more steady, a little more slow. But gonna need a complementary carry threat in the bottom lane here. As look, Weiser again, I think he's been an interesting point of VKS now as well. Right in between, he came in for Split 2 and has as the Ashe locked in here, probably the Seraphine to follow it up. But Weiser, he hasn't been kind of the Weiser that we know from kind of 2022, 2023. He's been solid, he's been serviceable, and the reason that Cade got rid of Bull was because of off the rift stuff. So he didn't do anything. He was just annoying. He was a bit of a diva. He didn't tighten anybody, just to set the record straight. But but Bull is also going to join Pain subbed in Robo, so we'll be on the lookout for that for next split. But Roodood, they have given over a couple power picks here. Have Loud.
I mean, they have. You're not wrong. There are still plenty of bot lane pairings that they could look to take. Now, it's probably going to be on VKS here to ban some of those out. I'm looking largely, you probably want to focus the supports in this. The AD carries tend to be a bit more flexible, so banning them away, not necessarily as worthwhile, but things like Nami can be taken off the board. We've got Nico, which is really, a good pick that some people like to take. So those are the two that my eyes are drawn to begin with. Maybe a Lulu if they're feeling like super crazy about everything. But the top side locked in for Loud does mean we go forward. Also, Young Jay on the Aatrox, one of these carry junglers again for him. Since he's really joined Loud, he's tried to be a carry jungler for them. And like I said, at the back end of Split 1, it all clicked into place. They were all meshed together, firing on the same cylinder, and they went really nicely with Young Jay largely at the helm, finding those leads. But we have to consider this as well. 4x4. We talked about the fact that the two teams that we saw in playoffs, or that we thought we were seeing today in playoffs, had played last week. Well, so did these two teams. Loud played VKS just last weekend,
Yep.
and Loud just 2-0'd VKS, which goes kind of against what I was saying earlier, that I think Sorolu's going to have the hands to take out Young Jay. But Loud last weekend, they were absolutely fine I say absolutely fine. They won both games. I think saying they were absolutely fine is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah,
because it wasn't pretty.
Ever absolutely fine. That's just not how they operate.
If I remember correctly, VKS were winning by like 10k gold in at least one of the games. I might be wrong, and 10k might be exaggerating it, but I'm pretty sure they were definitely suggested that they should have won for the most part of one of the games.
And I think that's the really frustrating part for if you're a Guerrero, if you're a fan of VKS, is that this isn't the first time that's happened. And not only that, if you think back to 2025, right, their mid game in their macro was generally so much cleaner, and I think that's part of why, at least the party line from VKS was, synergy was the buzzword they gave for making the jungle swap when they did, to say, look, we just need someone who knits the team a little bit together, a little bit better, and and I think part of that has to be rooted in the mid game, right? I mean, but it is still kind of wild that, I mean, look, knitting the game together doesn't necessarily mean shot calling and IGLing, right? Because you have some really experienced heads here, right? I mean, shoot, everybody on this team, not named Sorolu, if you told me just on another roster, as Caitlin's locked in here, that they were the IGLs, that wouldn't surprise me necessarily. Maybe CO just because he's an 80 carry and he doesn't speak, Portuguese, but like, shoot, you've got three, you've got two Koreans and a guy from Hong Kong. So, Portuguese.
Hardly the likelihood that Portuguese is the leading communication language on this team, but we will see. I mean, there are like, what are they called? Cognates between Portuguese and Spanish, so it's not inconceivable that they might. Catwing came over the start of this year. If this guy's Portuguese is on point by this stage, I'm very impressed. If nothing else, I am looking at this bot lane though, and getting a little bit worried because I think there's a Caitlyn Karma in the works for Loud, and that could just about answer an Ashe Seraphine and probably do some pretty nasty business to it through the early stages. Now, we did get a Zehen locked in for Sorolu, so this is a fresh change of pace for him as well. We'll be looking to take that into the jungle, and we've got these sort of Drain Tank former top laners that have been moved into the jungle this time round, playing up against one another in our first match.
Yeah, and this has been kind of the, these have been sort of the compositions. I mean, BKS, right? You want just some semblance of frontline. I mean that in the very literal sense. There's that Caitlyn Karma you were talking about. Karma's still very, very strong. You see that fearless pick ban percentage, 98.5. She is everywhere, all at once. But Loud, I mean, look, they've got themselves actually a pretty nice composition. But this is definitely something that and look, you can team fight front to back decently well. In the late game, Ryze is going to become Thanos once he gets that third item. But even without phase rush, this champion is still, in terms of the damage that he can output, is still absolutely monstrous. There's less wiggle room with phase rush, but you still just absolutely crank.
Yeah, it's about getting to that point now. I mean, previously you just evade every pretty much gank by phase rushing one of the targets and then running away. So that option for safety is not as prevalent now. And I think that looking in the mid lane as well, maybe one of the matchups that we're expecting the least volatility from. They've given us the least volatile picks in the world, with Ryze and Orianna being locked on in. I think that top side for what we're expecting should be very much Loud favored. I was, catching up on the Gringos Liberados podcast. Shino comes away with our was he first All Pro top for us this split, and Weiser notoriously, or maybe not notoriously, but notably nowhere in that conversation.
No, unfortunately. I mean, he's had his solo kills. He's gotten solo killed. He's just not kind of, and I think I'm trying. You try not to let kind of who they were distract you from who they are, right? And not like
Yeah.
hold him to these standards of like, oh well, Weiser used to be a literal MVP, right? He was the straw that stirred the pain gaming drink, right? And was such a force on so many of those teams, but he's not that anymore, and he was a midseason pickup, and but look, he's still a solid, serviceable top laner. But the fact of the matter is, Shino has been just kind of bodying everybody. He has simply been him. These first two splits, all the hype has been warranted, and notably, a VKS Academy product.
Yeah, I mean, importantly so. You're quite right that sort of return to sender almost for him has made his full journey here, which is nice to see. Now, as we look through this game 4x4, I think both of these teams have got solid marksmen that can act as scaling functions into the late game. We've got the Ghost for Envy as well, sort of as a offset for not having that phase rush. So that should be a good way to evade some of these ganks. Now, both of these junglers are going to struggle, I'd say, to try and find purchase. They are not your heavy ganking junglers. They are definitely more so geared up towards farm. But what I would say with that is that Sorolu seemed to find ganks on whatever champion he was playing.
Yeah, and even Zahan, right? I mean, look, yes, it's at level 6, but you do have a gap closer, right? And these look at Envy go, man. Look at Envy go, just popping the phase rush immediately. He thinks he's got a solo kill on Miru, potentially. Nothing else. He's going to shove him out of lane really early. Got that level 2 and made it his problem.
I'm curious as to whether or not this is actually worthwhile, because I think Miryu's going to miss maybe one melee creep, if that. Going to be able to TP back in exchange for Ghost, where Envy will not be able to TP back at all. So it might be a message sent, but whether or not it's an advantage accrued is a different question for me right now, as we see on the bot side that the heals are used there.
Yep, it's gonna be a bloodbath in that bottom lane. Lots of range, lots of damage, lots of sustain as well. As we shove that lane, the message that was sent is, I think I want a tier, and I want to fight this lane with a tier for Envy.
I mean, he's doing really well. Like, I was worried about whether or not he'd be able to find an advantage. He just does the same thing to Miryu when he lands, trades with him again, gets a good trade. Now Envy gets to, well, he didn't actually recall. I thought he had a good timer to find that reset with the wave under the turret, but he's opted against that. And instead is now going to try and hold the wave, I guess. There's no jungle presence just yet. Unlikely that Youngjae will be able to make it up here in time, but he needs to kind of protect this bot side as well.
Well, and his mana bar is getting a little low as well. Yeah, you didn't expect mid lane to be anywhere that you had to even pay a little bit of attention to. I think pre-6, but
I mean, now this is really bad for lane. Yeah, this is really bad for Envy now, because he's not going to be able to find a good timer to go back to base. Miryu is always now going to have HP lead, always going to have that mana lead as well. Unless Miryu just starts randomly throwing spells to the wind, it's not going to be easy for them. So I'm very worried for Envy now, as down on that bot side, it's Kaiwing that's forced to flash away.
Yeah, the Infernal Chains went down. Kaiwing had to pop the flash to get out of there. Throwing out, man, that's unfortunate. He hit like 0 of the 6 spells he threw Youngjae's way.
That's the Seraphine way. That's
such is life, you know.
Not obviously ideal, but what we were talking about as this sort of problem for that mid lane has finally been, I won't say taken advantage of, but Envy did lose out on a cannon creep. He lost out on probably 2 melee creeps. So overall, neither advantage gained nor advantage lost, I'd say, for either side. And maybe it's Youngjae actually who comes out on top of this, because he's the one who's found 2 crabs to begin with in this early game.
Yeah, so far so good. Like you said, able to double crab him. Youngjae ever so slightly in the lead. Hasn't taken his recall yet. I think that's the kind of, that's the one little micro advantage that Sorolu does have, but Youngjae should be able to come back with a pretty similar level of purchase. And Roodood,
full clear again,
what you said about you when we were in draft, you said, I think I see a Caitlyn Karma coming, and that should be able to do something, I think were the 2 words you said about what would happen as bottom lane.
Very non-distinct, but yeah.
Something is happening.
Very up in the air. I really didn't hedge my bets in any way, but I really should have done. The Caitlyn Karma is doing Caitlyn Karma things. Who knew? Yuzetsu is playing really well on this Karma. Your whole job here is to try and bully. Just really, whenever you're playing Karma as a champion, you want to be bullying people. And they are doing that very nicely down on the spot side. Now, Sayo feels safe here. He has got barrier and not going to be forced to use it off that Piltover Peacemaker, but at some point, I'd like them to recall.
Yeah, eventually you got to be able to cash that advantage in, because if you just keep shoving them out, they're going to potentially get a recall. Envy will be bailed out with that little bit of movement speed. Was it
Okay,
just
so Young
boots?
Jay has still not based.
No.
He's going to have to go back to base. He's not actually taking his Krugs, which I thought would be the logical thing, would take Krugs, then base. He's now going to have slightly desynced
Yeah, get that
camps,
timer going. Yeah.
which is maybe a little weird, but as his decision. What are these? Number 5? Noste 5? Games 5?
To give us 5 games.
Give us 5. Yeah, good.
And then, yeah, this one says Chino's the best top laner in the game right now. Vai amor da minha vida. I think maybe that was one of her boyfriends on the team. And then this is someone saying Cade's going to win.
Here for a VK victory?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
this will be a VKS victory.
Oh, well, maybe not if Sorolu keeps on getting caught.
Yeah, we've got a 3-on-2 here. Actually, just a 2-on-1, really, if we're talking about who's actually throwing the fisticuffs, as Kaiwing finally lands a double beat drop.
Yeah, I won't say it saves his jungler, but it definitely helps.
I think it saved his jungler. I think that saved his jungler.
I think the flash from Sorolu was a large proponent of why he's able to live there. Maybe he should have flashed a little bit earlier, and then he'd have had some HP as well. But the Ashe Seraphine actually starting to kick back a little bit. You'll notice Sayo here has opted into the Berserker's Greaves as his first item. Very standard for Ashe, very standard for playing versus Caitlyn Karma. So makes a lot of sense that you get the 2-for-1 special on why this is such a good pickup. But Young Jay here, level 6 already on the Aatrox, is nicely propelled over. And they might even try to dive. Sayo has got both summoner spells, but there's a Rise coming too.
In with the Realm Warp.
Lovely.
Just immediately gets over the wall. Very nicely done. Kaiwing is just not long for this world. First one over to Loud. They both go over to Young Jay. And Roodood, you talked about this man wanted to be a carry jungler. So far, so good. The entire lead, essentially. Well, about half the lead as a result of that bot lane gank.
Yeah, and I mean, this is Young Jay, as well as Envy, making a really good read on the map, being able to play toward that bot side. Look at Envy's Realm Warp here. He puts himself so he's going to land in the terrain. And on the right-hand side of it, so he can immediately start firing down the damage. Knows that actually at this stage, he's the one with the most HP. He's got that catalyst in his inventory, so he's the one who's going to tank it up.
Guess what? You're going to take these tower shots.
Yeah, and with that, a really swift double kill. The Ashe Seraphine were kind of getting bodied the entire laning phase thanks to Uzens and Bull playing a really solid early game. And now it's even worse. The other half of that gold lead that you were talking about is in that bot lane. Bull and Uzens, both of them, with a sizable advantage over their counterparts.
You saw the sidecar on your screen on the left there. In split 1, Shino undefeated on the Cassante, 6-0. And in his career, I don't know if this includes, Academy. I don't think it would, but I think it's, just the entire time he's been up in Tier 1. He is a whopping 16-8. So a 66% career win rate on the Cassante. Envy in a little bit of trouble here, getting some empowered autos to the back of his head, but Envy will flash away. He will survive.
It's fortunate that Miryu did not have the mana for a dissonance there.
I was going to say.
So that would have killed him. Envy did not flash in time. He took the damage. He would have died. But he lives, doesn't die, which is always good. And obviously at this stage in the game, we're hoping that Rise can't just already 1v1 the Orianna. You have built 0 AP items as of yet, so the idea you'd be able to solo kill any mage really makes me sad. And we'll hold our breath for when he builds, just a lick of damage and then starts one-tapping people. Nope, still no AP. This is my favorite game to play with, Rise. How long can they go without building damage?
Yeah, no, it's a game you play every single time with Rise. Occasionally with Anivia too, but Rise tends to just fully sack. Like this is not what we're doing. Stop asking me because I will not do it. We are going to get to level 12, and I'm going to make my impact with Realm Warp and rooting someone in place, and you're going to like it.
Cleanse burned there by Bull, and Sorolu's already down here. Unfortunately, he has been very much spotted. Double wards, both of which are going to get cleared out. Meanwhile, on the top side, we can see Young Jay looking to work his way through those grubs. That first double kill really has set him up for success here. Need to see it continue. Don't mind the idea that Young Jay can be the carry, but you kind of could have had 2 kills on Bull. Instead, you took 2 kills for yourself, and we need to see you make that worthwhile.
Yep. Yeah, you've got certain responsibilities as this type of jungler, right? You got to eventually spread that love, or you have to be at every single skirmish, especially on a champion like Aatrox. get that snowball rolling, because you can take over a game, but on a jungle budget, it's a little bit tougher. Young J actually able to clip Miru there with his Q2. But nothing doing here. Bull going to get some solo time with the plates. And I'd say that's advantage distributed very well. Meanwhile, Roodood, we have said absolutely nothing about the top lane, and for good reason. I mean, just look at the map, right? look at the amount of wards on the bottom side of the map compared to on the top side. It's like 3-4 to 1.
Weiser, he's put no wards down, I think. He's got 6 vision score, so he's probably done something.
I suppose.
It's probably just all in the lane, just spotting it out, making sure that he knows which brush Gino's in to stop him from being able to get a camp on. Yeah, we're not going to talk about this top lane much. They're going to turn up to team fights. They're going to hopefully do their work. If Weiser lands a good equalizer, absolutely here for it. When Gino 1v5s, Cassante things, I'm here for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, does it worry you at all that Weiser has just done kind of nothing and that no attention has been paid up there?
No. I'd rather my gold go to the Ashe or to the Orianna. What worries me is that Sorolu has done nothing.
Yeah, he's
Oh dear.
Wait, didn't matter. The Infernal Chain still caught VKS. Miro going to be able to get away. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow will not find its mark. Maybe Young Jay with a miracle here somehow can get forward. And he does have the Realm Warp, not opting to burn it on a very low potential score play. Very low percentage. So Roller's just going back in, though, with the Blast Cone. He gets locked up. Almost a disastrous choice by the K Jungler, but all's well that ends well.
All right, well, they're able to both get out, which I think is the only win that VKS can take from this, but they are going to lose out on a second Drake here. I mean, this is a pretty sizable advantage here for Loud early on, just really abusing the early lanes that they've got. And I actually really like that they've not really tried to do too much in terms of those turrets, because I think as soon as the turrets start to break open, the laning dynamics start to change. And they can't just abuse the fact that they've got really solid winning lanes at the minute. That Gino, Kanik Rucken, he feels absolutely fine in the 1v1. Envy, playing against an Orianna, he's chilling. He's built, again, still a Dark Seal. Ding, ding, ding. We have some AP. And that's about it. But he's farming up quite nicely. And down on this bot side, I mean, we've seen the bullying that is going on. Bull is pretty much a full level up over Seo off the back of the early dive.
Yeah, up 1,000 gold. It's just been a really fantastic lead that obviously Young Jay helped facilitate. But even before that, the CS discrepancy was pretty massive.
I think we'll do it again.
I think we're doing it again. With the same Realm Warp, is he going to land in the same spot? Yes, he is. Rinse and repeat. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Maybe a little bit trouble now. As the Envy or the Encore did come down, but the tower eventually goes down. Envy going to grab one kill there on a CEO. Ace in the hole will find its mark. Bull on the board with his first kill is 4-0 Loud. They did it again, Roodood.
Yeah, that was really well played. And there's not a lot this time the VKS could have done. They didn't spot Young Jay on any of the wards on his way in. I mean, the only thing maybe to have considered was that you didn't know where the Rise was for like 5 seconds and that he could be going back bot lane. And they take the turret first to make sure that nobody dies to those hits. I think Mirio here playing so that he doesn't get caught by Q3 of the Aatrox. But if you really want your support to live, you kind of have to know that there's an ace in the hole coming your way. As maybe Bull now overextended. A rite of passage.
Yeah, I would say just a little bit. He's going to die. Shutdown goes to Sorolu, which I think is maybe suboptimal. I think you want that to go to CEO. You need some sort of threat to be able to deal with the Cassante and the Rise in the late game. The Caitlyn, she's accelerated to the mid game trough. The TM is not going to be quite as pronounced this time around. Especially also, I mean, you're not really into any tanks, right? And Sorolu's building Triforce, so the fact that you are an auto attack champion doing big one clicks not going to be quite as bad here.
Oh, they are snowballing this, though. Loud are playing a little bit disrespectfully.
Yeah, and Kaiwing is just kind of roaming up and just be like, all right, you got an Enchanter in your back pocket, go gadget, VKS. And now 2 shutdowns go over, and the gold lead just completely cut in half.
Yeah, so this is why Loud came in as 6th seed. Because they well, typically, actually, they're pretty weak lanes, Young Jay.
CEO is dead. Bull gets another kill. That is big. You were saying?
Yeah. because sometimes they don't get off to the races, and then we get to the late game and Loud start finally pulling out random Loud shenanigans and getting these team fights where they have no reason to. Now, with the 3K gold lead, I dare say those team fights are going to be a lot easier to come by, more so than anything else. As there's a Drake spawning in about 2 minutes' time, I expect that to be a big fight. I don't want to see VKS try and give that up, but I mean, given the state of the game, there's not a lot that they can do to reasonably contest that, as it's currently the Herald that is up for grabs. And again, it's exactly where Young Jay's gone.
Yep, that's where he's going to be heading. Young Jay, I mean, it's what, 3 for 3 now, 4 for 4 on the neutral objectives. I think Roodood, to loop back around to what you were saying earlier, I mean, Sorolo, he's, 100% KP. He's just kind of roaming death squad of those 2 big shutdowns, which, look, that's not to take away from that. Both things can be true. But before that, homie was invisible. He just, Young Jay and Loud gave him absolutely nothing.
And that's, I guess, the difference here a little bit, I'd say, because Sorolo on ganking junglers was very active, but this time round on the Zehen hasn't really done anything, where Young Jay, Aatrox is not a ganking jungler.
No.
Yet we've still found 5 out of 5 kill participation, been the driving force that has got all of the kills for the team so far.
Now, it's not a counterpoint, but just a added context point. Does his impact happen without the fact that Envy on Rise can just shoot himself halfway across the map?
Yeah, probably not. And it probably also doesn't happen that if they don't have Caitlyn Karma pushing in every single wave either. I was watching a video. One of the NA greats, Meteos, was like talking about how their draft, how drafts need to happen. And they were like, is there one catch-all, like one big thing that you need to do when drafting above all else? And he goes, well, there's one thing that means that you lose the game based on draft, and that's if you've got 3 losing lanes. Now, I don't think mid was losing, but it definitely wasn't winning, and it definitely couldn't hold the Rise in place. And that definitely sort of impeded what they were able to do.
Yeah, and I mean, right, it's one thing to have yourself a win condition, if you will, but it's another thing to execute it, right? And look, that second dive, that got a little bit hairy, right? So everyone had to kind of be on their P's and Q's, right? And that's the thing, right? With Orianna, he almost had a solo kill a couple times. Is the Enchanted Crystal Arrow not going to find its mark? Loud going to hop into
Herald.
Shelly here, going to get the CC down, potentially. No, just being disruptive, going to crash that into the mid tower. And Weiser is caught in Timbuktu. He is on the wrong side of the train tracks, and he will pay for it with his life. But a huge shockwave comes through. The Encore in over the top. Sorolo in over the top. Loud might have the tables turned on them. Young Jay's getting a ton of healing. Zahan with the passive will be back. Sorolo survives to fight another day, but Bull takes a chunk out of him. Before that, it's a 1-for-1 after all that, somehow.
I mean, yeah, Miryu there hits the nuts with the Shockwave, finds a 3-man ulti into Triple Grim Deliverance, into a nice Kaiwing ulti as well. Don't know that this is fully VKS's just yet. Young Jay's still here, still sniffing, and Buller's got a lot of HP to work with.
He does, and Young Jay, he's looking for a flank. Yuzen coming up now with the Karma. Should be able to get something down here. Both these top laners have TP, so Weiser going to join the fight. Just 3 seconds desync between them.
All right.
Cade do walk away with the dragon. I think all things considered, they are happy that they got away with that.
That's big, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like if they go down to losing soul point there, that gives them no time in the game. It means 5 minutes from now they have to fight regardless. Whereas now, if in 5 minutes time they look at the state of the map and they go, no, they have a right to go, well, let's try and find some gold elsewhere. Now, do I think the game's going to look much better in 5 minutes? Probably not, but that's open to whatever it is that VKS can look to do.
Weiser should be fine here. They've completely lit up that bottom river in red wards. So now Roodood kind of taking stock of things. The 6th seed up about 3,500 gold, have made up for a couple of their disrespectful, in your words, blunders. And I would agree, by the way. It's not to throw you under the bus, just playing a little too far forward when, look, you've got no escapes. You are a Caitlyn, you are a Rise, but now Envy's starting to come online. Bull is getting towards that 3rd item. He's still up a massive amount, a literal full item, essentially, over CEO. So obviously advantage Loud here, very much so. But Young Jay is going to get ripped up by Sorolo here. The Shockwave comes down as well, but that's a ton of shielding. Good God, Young Jay. That Steric's doing a ton of work. And now the Grim Deliverance used backwards, so it looked like a pick for Cade, just because of that Steric's. Ends up being nothing.
Yeah, plus Karma Shield's coming in as well, which absolutely meant that Young Jay may have looked like he was in trouble, actually was absolutely fine. Now can they find something on the top? So remember, Cerulu has no Grim Deliverance here, so
Yeah.
a little bit less
Still,
budget.
yeah, I can still just kind of beat the snot out of you. Can Miru do enough here? He blew his shockwave as well. Shino trying to have a Kasante moment on his way out, but it will not happen. Miru on the board with his second kill of the game. Weiser, lone tower defense down on the bot side, equalizing the wave, and that, to be fair to him, negates the push there.
I mean, Shino there, I think that you've used your ulti for nothing. I'm going to be completely honest. As much as we've seen Kasante do crazy things, I think that one was
that was no. You were no. This isn't
very far fetched that he was going to be able to find something. Maybe if he ults earlier, there's a chance, but sort of a Hail Mary play that he might be able to get back into the play is just not the case whatsoever. So loses out on his life up there again. Another kill going the way of, I think that one was Cerulu. Miru will be more than happy to put his hands on an assist for the first time this game, but this is a very tense one so far, I'd say 4x4, with Loud not making no mistakes, but still in the driver's seat. Feels a little bit strange that they've got a 3k gold lead where it kind of feels as though they should be a lot closer, these two teams.
Yeah, because I mean, Cade have punched back, right? And I think that just the question is it too little, too late? Will the fact that you've got a true tank, the fact that the team fight's a little bit easier, you've got marginal leads, kind of where it matters for Loud, right? For me, it's that's the question, right? Will that be enough? And crucially, just can you keep Bull safe? Because he's just going to print damage between him and Envy. They should have no problem with that. And look, and then you've got Young Jay and Envy. They're going to be up close and personal. Guess what? You got Karma Shields on top of that. You've got a Mikhail's over the top as well. But Kate's
everybody down.
Everyone bunker. Bombs are dropping as Cade. Look, I mean, you still got a solid enough AD carry with an enchanter in the back pocket. Weiser can still have an impact with his ultimates, but this comp can, you can catch people out. But that's my question, Roodood. Like, is that Cade's only kind of path back to victory? Because in a 5v5, you still, to me, I still favor Loud.
Yeah, I definitely still favor Loud, but that doesn't mean that, big shockwave, big equalizer, big encore, like these three massive wombo combo ults can't turn a fight instantly.
Right?
Yeah, so there's a real possibility that VKS find a nice angle, they get a good fight, and three people just die instantly, which you'd like to think gives them the edge in the team fight in the long run. Whether or not they can actually make that work, we'll wait and see. But I think that for Loud, the way that this game functions for them is through resets. Is strange as it is, you've actually kind of got two reset champs on the team right now. Caitlyn with a Hex Optics wants to get that first kill to have that extended range. Aatrox wants that reset so that he can get that extra burst of movement speed, the re-up on the World Ender, and then make a little bit of something happen. So both of these teams, like you mentioned, for VKS, kind of playing pick. Similarly for Loud, they're quite a big fan of finding that first kill, Realm or Rise W one person, take them down, and then play the rest of the fight with these big buffs.
Yeah, if Envy does his job and just, like you said, if you can just lock down one person, spread that out, spread that damage out, then to the other members, it's not massive range for this Cade composition. You've got, you've got 4 range champions, but range comes in all shapes and sizes. Enchanted Crystal Arrow hits Bull. He's cleansed out of it immediately by his support. Yuzen popping the Mikhails off the rip. Cerulu not able to get in there and steal the dragon. And now he might pay for it with his life. His health bar is going really low there. You see the Yordle snap traps setting up a great line of defense. Envy just chasing Weiser off this fight as well. CEO ripping back damage. His mana is a little low. Got to be careful about that a little bit, but really not much. Because after all that, Loud just, they get soul point. But Roodood, neither team really willing to throw everything to throw their hat in the ring and fight. And that's more surprising for me for Loud.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have, I guess they need Shino on a flank angle to make that truly happen. It is actually going to be a tier 1 turret that goes the way of VKS after this, which is a nice little boon for them as well. But for Loud here, they got the soul point, and I think that's really all they were after. We did get to see some of the problems that Caitlyn can run into, and that is that if nobody stands on your traps, at this late game, you can get a little bit outranged. Like, you might not be able to auto-attack the Rumble who can harpoon you, Ori who can keep you at a ball's distance, the Ashe who can just volley you and poke you down. Like, the Caitlyn can actually struggle to function in these team fights if there isn't somebody taking the ire of VKS.
Now grabbing some heal cut is Bull. I mean...
Versus a Hen Seraphine? Yes, sir.
Yeah, But do you think, I mean, should that be Envy with the Oblivion Orb? You know what I mean?
Nah, you need crit on Caitlyn anyway. And I quite like Mortal Reminder. It's a good crit item. There's you always go for a Last Whisper crit item anyway. So, you know, if you need anti-heal, you buy the anti-heal one. If you don't need anti-heal, you buy LDR, which is kind of the way that it tends to go.
Total damage you see on the left of your screen there as Envy forced to flash away from any potential trouble. Miru has just kind of doubled everyone up in damage almost. Shockwave goes out there. Sorolu and Kaiwing in a little bit of trouble on their side of the map. As now advancing forward, I mean, I think, Loud, just they don't have a ton of vision there, so knowing that, look, we could get collapsed on here, right? You got a little bit of vision kind of on this side, but near the mid lane, the vision is completely dead. Gonna take a Hex Tech portal out of there. We're gonna do another 3 minutes until this dragon soul, this Hex Tech soul, which will feel really good, I think, especially for Envy, right? I mean, the rise damage with the Hex Tech soul with that slow, I think that's a bit of a chef's kiss up there.
Really small thing, but it makes landing your spells a little bit easier, right? You
exactly, yeah.
Throw the E at somebody, they get slowed, then your Q's much easier to land. If you land your Q, you do a boatload of damage. So it's a good little combo to have linked on up. Whether or not it makes too much of a difference, we will wait and see. But Bull does now have that 90% crit chance marker, let's say, at this stage, looking for 100, probably with an RFC in that back pocket to begin or to end out with. And then you get to build those luxury items on Marksman when you just go for your Bloodthirster, get your Guardian Angel. If you fancy something a little bit different that's defensive, that's your time to go for it. But Bull here is full glass cannon, full do as much damage as possible and rely on Uzent to keep me alive.
And he's been doing a bang-up job of that. Now with the Moonstone Renewer, going to be even better. We saw that insta-cleanse with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow with the Mikhails. Not only insta-cleanse out of that one, that is going to be a almost max range stun onto Envy. Pop the Realm Warp, will take it to safety at the cost of a third of his HP, but that's a trade you are willing to take. As now Miru just going to get the absolute you-know-what beat out of him. Oh, pops the Unstoppable for the buffer out of the Shockwave. Nicely done by Sheena. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say that was on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way that Miru lives there is if he Shockwaves the Cassante off, but now that might open up for this topside play by Loud. I think the good thing is that Kaiwing might just die.
Yeah, I think he's just toast. Bull shows up and just headshots him immediately. I don't know, a headshot or a big crit or what, but either way, he was not long for this world. And now with 2 members down, Loud feel comfortable enough to at least start up this Baron.
Yeah, headshot, big crit, Porque no los dos here as Envy now in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he's thick. He does a lot of damage, but he's not unkillable. Sorolu, low-key on a killing spree, 100% KP. Roodood, 3-0-2 for 5 kills for VKS, but the fact of the matter is it will not be enough to save the Baron. That does go down to Loud, and at the end of the day, pretty handily here.
Yeah, Miryu dying on that bot side, I didn't think was going to open up for this play because there was no threat on the bot side. But then they catch Kaiwing, and that then, you take down 3 members, absolutely. Or 2 members, rather. That's absolutely your window to try and make some good things happen, and that is exactly what they do. With a little bit of desynced recall timers here, Gino with no teleport is going to be quite late to find this reset, which means that there's an opportunity for VKS here to find some vision, lay down just the cursory idea of vision. As we are going to see Wiser TPing in as well. All ultis available outside of that Grim Deliverance. In fairness, the Encore as well, not available for VKS. So I think they're playing the rush, try and burn this down, whilst they know that the Envy is not here.
That's exactly what they do. They do that with pretty great efficiency. I thought that was going to be a little bit slower to take down, but they do lose 2 mid lane towers out of it. So not ideal. You do ward off Soul Point, but I mean, Loud with that Baron buff, absolutely the move, just taking advantage of that. Proto Belt Rise! That was not what I expected.
That's what we call bad.
But oh yeah, all the kids are building Proto Belt these days. If all your friends are building Proto Belt, would you do it too, young man?
Depends which champion I'm playing. Would I build it on Rise with Ghost? No. But, whatever. He's probably going to Proto Belt on Seo, 1 round him with a combo, and we'll all laugh and giggle.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll have to eat my words, so yeah, that's fine.
No phase rush. I still need my little gap closer. I still need my ability to just inch myself forward. Use that, just going to eat that arrow. Cat McHale's himself, and he pays for it. Shutdown goes over to Sorolu, who now, I mean, look, all his gold is now into... No, Bull gets caught. That is tough. Shutdown goes for Miru as well. Young Jay will grab himself an inhibitor. So I mean, look, it's still not ideal. As a shutdown did go over, but you've got a lane broken open here. But this is loud, right? It's never totally clean. You can
No.
never just play out a mid game in peace. As Miru now 1,000 gold up on Envy. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as worried about that, but you've got a proto belt instead of an actualizer, so now I am a little bit worried about that actually.
As you should be, to be honest. I mean, yeah, Uzens dies, but Bull here gets caught by the classic Caitlyn maneuver. Oh, somebody stepped on my trap. Let me hit them.
I simply must. The headshot was called out to him like the Green Goblin mask. Just I must.
Really
I have
was.
no choice.
He had no options but to sit there and eat the Orielty. But he did get to headshot someone, you know. So like, who's the real winner?
Yeah, who's the real winner exactly? As Mirror's now he's on 3 heads, man. Now he's going to start to crank a little bit.
Yeah.
And that shockwave. That is a big setup. And I mean, right, we kind of talked about it as this gold lead for Loud. You're seeing, essentially since the 15-minute mark, it's been effectively the same here. And we're not really close to that point where the gold lead doesn't matter. It is still about a component advantage for everybody. But I think that the big key for me is as the Bloodletter's Curse comes down as well, Miru, those shockwaves are going to really hurt. The Encore goes down. It's going to land on one, and that will be enough to grab a kill. Sorolu again on the board. He's a veritable drain tank right now, Roodood. And that DD as well, going to give him a lot more defensive benefits, obviously. But he's big, man.
And Kaiwing with a happy accident there fires his ulti toward Young Jay. Oh, well, my lucky day. I found Uzens and manages to connect on the Karma, who has far less defensive capabilities. Really needs to find that flash key. In a important team fight. What I'm kind of thinking right now is it's not important to keep your flash in this fight because it's not for anything. The issue is that this is like killing Loud's momentum.
Yeah,
just can't do anything for such a long time here, based on the fact that the Karma keeps falling now. And this is, it's only a second death, but they're 2 really importantly timed deaths that have pretty much prevented Loud from doing really anything.
Yeah, it like you said, it has just killed their momentum, right? In a time period here where they had the Baron buff and they have inhib down in the mid lane, right? So you have options and you have these situations presented to you where it's not just, oh, I'm in the lead, so I should be able to push up with smart map movement. Yeah, that's true, but the game is allowing you to do so. You've gotten your borrowed power. You're not able to take advantage of it. And dare I say, if this was Redbird, we'd all be a lot more pissed off. But I digress. We're gonna give the rookie a little bit of grace here.
Presently 1 minute away from Soul for Loud. This is the second time round that they'll be going for it, and we'll see whether or not they can do a little bit better. Wise has just taken about 1,000 HP based off of 1 bull headshot, so that doesn't bode all that well. But that's why we're seeing all of these people jockey, jostle, and try and find some positioning down on the spot side. Currently, it's VKS that hold the choke, that hold the entrance to the river. But if they take too long and forget about 1 mid-wave, they can start losing Nexus turrets real quickly because of this mid-wave being down.
Now, Uzens shows up not a moment too soon. He might have a fight breaking out here. Sorolu able to grab him and yoink him in, able to flash away. Did find the flash key. Roodood gets the tether out. And now Sorolu potentially locked up here, but he's going to use the Grim Deliverance to get the heck out of there. Envy trying to get an angle on this. Everyone's clumped up. Oh, they look so juicy, except you're not the team with an Orianna. That is Cade with the Orianna, able to get that big old shockwave potentially a little bit later. Shino having to flash away now. Wiser caught on the other side. Got caught with their pants down, VKS. And now Loud going in for blood. They smell it in the water. They want everything. There's that big enchant. The Encore, the shockwave finds absolutely nothing. And now the Grim Deliverance, or excuse me, just as a hand passive, will bring one back up here for Cade. Envy. Just going over the wall on him. Young Jay going over the wall himself. Bull is completely free, though. He gets the ace in the hole to help finish off one. CEO goes down. Kaiwing next on the menu. The Realm War for the chase. And that will be Loud on their way to a 4-for-1. Potentially, Mira will go down here as well, but that doesn't matter because you've got yourself a Dragon Soul.
I mean, I think they've got themselves a game here 4x4 as well, if I'm being completely honest. If they just went down mid lane, that's probably the way to end it. But they're going to get the Soul instead. They're going to get the Baron as well. And when I say to you folks, this was not a pretty watch, I really mean that, and it's really saddening. VKS, oh my word, there were many buttons that got pushed in a way that I really rather had not seen. But it's Loud that come away. The winners here. VKS, that they're playing this fine, right? Like they have to absorb their engage here. They have to try and play back like this. Weiser, I don't quite know where he thought he was going, just being that little bit too far forward. Even Cerullo here trying to create space so that his bot lane can get out. And then just look at Kaiwing and Sayo here. They go for this really good encore combo. But then there's just a really bad missed call. It's like, okay, we're going to flash onto the Rise here. Yeah, we flash onto the Rise. Kaiwing doesn't hit anybody, flashes into the Dragon. Buffers Sayo the second he flashes in, so he gets knocked back. Sayo then autos the Drake as well. And I think if those couple of autos had have gone the right way, the entire landscape of that fight changes because Envy dies. Then you can replay the fight from within the pit, get VKS or get Loud to be a little bit confused as to what they want to do. But VKS didn't know themselves. And it's really tricky in that position, right? Like, you're making such split-second calls. Like, somebody's just having to call, go for Rise, go for Rise. And if you don't all do it synchronized, it doesn't quite work out. And that's how it sort of played out here for VKS. Right idea, really, really quite not so good execution.
No, unfortunately. And now you have missed your window to where Envy did not have the actualizer and instead built a different third item. And now he's got the actualizer. And Bull has the heal cut completed. He's at 100% crit. He's got the GA as well. And now Loud with a 7,000 gold lead with the Baron buff, with the Hex Tech Soul. Just kind of have to play this one out unless, of course, Envy gets hit by Enchanted Crystal Arrow. The CC combo over the top of him will mean a shutdown for CEO.
This is good here. No movement challenge here for Envy. He wasn't allowed to get out. Mirror darting out of the base here with those home guards. They're going to lose their tier 3 turret, but that's about it.
There's a 5v4, so Roodood taking up a lot of damage. Doesn't get the Grim Deliverance off. Young Jay is simply too strong with that World Ender. Got all that healing done. As Mirror wasn't able to get, or excuse me, just somebody wasn't able to get enough heal cut on him. Now Shido, my goodness. This is what AD carries always complain about.
Yeah. We're not going to get a replay of that. No. That was a Caitlyn headshot that did 1,300 damage to the Ashe there. And we're probably not going to get a replay because the game's going to end. But yeah, Bull just crit the living daylights out of Sayo. And if Weiser can do anything here, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, no, oh my goodness. Yeah, we got another one of those. And now the Ace in the Hole will finish him off as Loud walk away with a... Well, how would you... One word to describe that win for Loud. I'm going to push that over to you.
Victory.
It was a win. Yeah.
With a win. That's about... There's no rhyme or reason for there's no one word that can sum up that game. You know what? Chaotic. We'll give them that. They threw a bit, but they had the lead to throw, you know?
Yep.
They got a couple handshakes out of that, but they know deep down that wasn't as good as it should have been.
Yeah, that could have been better. And against a better team, I think they probably don't win that game. But fortunately for them, Cade are not a better team. That's now 3 straight wins for Loud over VKS. Like you said, Roodood just last week, they 2-0'd them. Even Envy, I think you can see with a little bit of a smirk on his face, he knows we might have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, he did. He built Proto Belt third.
Yeah.
He definitely got away with one.
Sinner. But yeah, a dub is a dub, and guess what? You will have no opportunity to build Proto Belt over Actualizer in the rest of the series because Rise will be gone, so no opportunity to make that mistake. Roodood, for Cade, any thoughts? I mean, it just felt like they never really... Oh, Redbird's in the broadcasting booth. Nice. But I had a thing I was going to say, and I'm not going to, but...
What are VKS doing? Yeah. That's the be all and end all question. This is where your coach gap comes in, and you're hoping that the coach goes backstage, is giving the right words of encouragement, let's say, and they can come back out. Obviously, this is like 3 straight defeats, like you'd mentioned, which is not great. But hopefully they can turn this one back, and they can give us a bit of a series here. We'll have to wait and find out, though, because I don't know that VKS are... They're all there just yet. Cerullo had a really good game in the mid game, but you can't just farm when you're playing up against Young Jay because he will do things for better or for worse. He will try and find a fight.
No, he's very active, absolutely, and you've got to again just try to get something done on the other end, right? That's whether that's overload one lane, give enough pressure for your AD carry to get some alone time with some turret plating, right? Something, but it just felt like that early in pre 14 minutes, they got nothing done. Right, they weren't able to overload any side of the map. They weren't able to track Young Jay effectively until it was too late. Right, Rise, like you said, you've got a 5-second window for everybody to know, hey, you've got to get the hell out of Dodge. I don't know where Rise is. I think he's got ultimate up. Right, it's everyone get down, like you said, because God knows where Envy is going to show up. We're going to take you to a quick break. When we come back, game two, as VKS try to get something going here. They are looking a little bit hapless against this Loud squad. We'll see if that changes when we come back.
Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding. Only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies. The champions of the world that we defy. Our soul right of the few who rise up high. And we all fight at the last light.
Welcome back to the CBLOL English cast. Roodood has dispatched a crisp, which is a potato chip, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. He's dispatched a
Needed
chip.
to be dispatched.
I'm in the process of dispatching a protein bar.
You know what? I'll take this draft. You eat the protein bar, and I'll talk us through the draft here.
I need fiber. I haven't pooped yet today.
Great. That's what we on the unofficial CBLOL broadcast can give you that I can guarantee no other broadcast is going to give you.
I promise you. I will put my next month's salary on that.
And that is the digestive tracts of one of the casters. And for just 5 gifted subs,
I've been doing this for zero money every weekend for 6 years. Let me have this.
I was going to say, just for 5 gifted subs, you can get the digestive tract of 2 casters as well, if you'd like. Which, we'll see whether or not that's of any good to anybody else in the audience. I've noticed that our producer has left the Discord call on the idea that we are talking about whatever we're talking about, which is very, very funny. And entirely not true either. But
the Discord call.
We're talking about us doing whatever we're doing. Nope, can't have that. Fortunately, you can all still hear us, and I'm sure of that because we're in a different setup for this, which is great. Bans are finished. Bard, Vayne, and Neferi away by VKS, Varus, Nocturne, and Pantheon away by Loud. It is Loud who gets second pick, but Blue Side and VKS who have taken the Jarvan early on here to give themselves a little bit of an opportunity in this game to get the ball rolling. For me, Ezreal's stocks for Bull this game are through the roof. Ezreal is a champion, very, very strong. Also, you can get out of a Cataclysm, and that is worth something.
Yes. No, very true. Yeah, if you're just going to rip Jarvan like that. And he's good on that Ezreal as well. And we got a blind pig Vi.
Amazing. Xayah stocks for Seo just went up.
Yeah.
Because you can get out of Vialty, and that is also worth something.
And Xayah Rakan, it's a thing, right? It's a little deeper into Fearless. I'm not sure it's like game 2, but we have seen it a little bit here and there.
We have.
As the Ahri locked in here. So, by Ahri, that's a combo that is, I guess I'll say tried and true because I can't think of anything else, but it's common. I'll say that. But I know that Vi, you talk about a spread of opinions on a champion. I mean, I feel like she's approaching Jhin territory, honestly.
Oh, really?
I've heard people crash out about this champion.
Vi getting locked in. This is the worst pick in the world. All right. Well, I mean, it's Young Jay on Vi, so I'm expecting aggression, if nothing else, right? Like the last game, we had 2 junglers who don't really gank, but can find windows. This time round, it's like they make windows and then force them down themselves. So very different styles of gameplay for the 2 junglers so far. As we do see here, all of our top side has been locked in. The Jace in for Wiser, and the Sion response by Gino. So they're going to be just having so much fun up there. But I'm looking at these bans for the second phase here, 4x4. Again, ban Xayah if you're Loud, ban Ezreal if you're VKS, and then do what you like. Then I'm happy.
Again, speaking of things I'm very, very confident in, I actually don't think either of those will get banned. Just because I think it's like I've just been watching this league too long, man.
It's an ego thing. It's an ego thing of the teams. Like, this guy can't.
Like, no, well, if we ban Xayah, then they win. We're not going to do that. That is what CL is saying. With that,
they can win the game, but they cannot. I will let them win this game, but I will not let them. Oh, never mind.
Okay, there's the Ezreal ban.
There we go. That's one.
Based.
Raze,
one.
Cephas.
Let's see if Raze
Give me Xayah.
Cephas.
Give me Xayah.
Come on, Cephas. I remember casting you on Cruzeiro in 2020 or 2021. Just making you on that 10-man. God, Cruzeiro in the CBLOL. What an absolute fever dream. Let's see. They ban away Milio instead. So wrapping in those 2 supports here, I guess.
So that's a Lucian ban as well. That's a Lucian and a Yunara ban invertly. So I can understand it. Because those also get out of the Cataclysm.
Right? If you subscribe to that 1 for 2, right?
Yeah, and I realize they don't need to get out of the Cataclysm. That's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, you're right. You get the 2 for 1 special, which is nice. And they even ban the Lucian because Nami's still available. So I don't hate that. But we'll see. This is now begs the question: what do they actually pick? We have got Senor Useful still available. Never mind. We've got Senorita Useless.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you got the other side of that coin. We've got Callista, and I mean, look, if you want to go Renata, right? That's not in danger of being taken on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So you could lock that in here, but it almost seems like kind of, I don't know, a little antithetical.
No way!
Renata. They did it.
I
didn't think they would, man. I didn't think they would. You got yourself for Khan as well. If you want to lock that in, it could be something else. But
oh my word! Put me in. Send me to Brazil. I could have just whispered in
Europeans
Reigns'
have done well
ear.
there, especially on Cade. You could find a place on that coaching staff.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm all right with that. Smiley, the Swedish Smiler. That's not gone well for me in any way, but yeah, he's done well. He's European.
He is. The Brits actually since 2018. Actually, I'm going to correct myself. Famously not European. So.
Thank you.
Sorry to misgender your people.
Yeah.
But it will be the
Miss Geograph. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I would never. Not willingly anyway. Roodood, there's no magic damage on the side of Evo Cage Stars, but there is a lot of damage. Does any of that worry you? Actually, we'll talk about Cade first, and then we'll talk about this loud draft.
Yeah, okay. So the short answer is yes, because Scion exists, and even if Galio builds full AP and then decides to hit the Scion, that means that the VKS are winning anyway, because, not VKS. They flipped them round. The Loud are winning anyway because they have a Scion who's being focused by everybody. So short answer is yes. I'm worried by this VKS draft. Long answer is I think that Loud here in a pretty good spot with their ideals. They should be looking to win out on that top section of the map with the idea that Scion probably going to eat it a little bit, get a plated steel caps, and then be able to bully the Jace. Maybe not bully, but be able to go toe-to-toe with him, withstand the Jace a little bit. And for me, I think this could very quickly become 2-0 if we don't see Sorolu have a bit of a masterclass.
Yeah, he's going to have a lot of ground to cover. And look, he's on a jungler now that's going to have a little bit more agency, right, in the Jarvan. So I'm trying to think, because the Jarvan's on the right side of the screen, but they flipped them, right?
Yeah. No, that did me in. That's
yeah,
what.
So, all right, we're both confused for the same reason, which means we're both right.
Yeah.
Okay, good. There we go. All right, yeah. Look, you're going to have a lot more agency this time around. But problem is, so is Young Jay, right? You can, you're Jarvan a better ganker than Vi, but Vi can still, gap close in a hurry. Obviously, after 6, that's like her whole thing. But obviously, your primary target in CO is not going to be, not going to be as threatened by that, obviously. But doesn't mean you have to burn at the Blade Caller. But this Renata Callista, I the champion there. She did get some buffs. I think it was the Ren damage on the E, right?
Oh, that's a great question. Let's see.
But
all patch recent.
Yeah, it was. I'm sure it was even this patch. It might have been 1 or 2 patches ago, but I know she got some buffs. But it didn't seem like it would shift her the side priority. But I feel like Callista is the AD carry equivalent of the Green Goblin mask. Like people just can't quit this champion, man.
That's saddeningly true. Yeah, she was buffed in 26-7.
Okay,
that's unfortunate. Which was about a month ago, if I'm looking at the numbers correctly. And yes,
that sounds right.
AD scaling on her end has gone up. So build more AD equals do more damage, basically.
Mm-hmm.
For the Callista, which doesn't particularly suit her play pattern because you kind of want to go for attack speed to put in more Ren stacks.
Yeah.
And jump around more, but maybe we'll see a slightly altered build. We're definitely not going to, and it's just going to be the same thing anyway. But either way, the Callista getting some love here, and you're quite right. It is the Green Goblin. It's the boogeyman of the CBLOL and of AD carry players, I'd say in particular. That whilst I'm not a fan of VKS and the fact that they've got no magic damage, I'm equally as little a fan of the fact that Callista has been drafted.
And we'll see which one makes you crash out harder in about 20 minutes time.
Well, no Annie yet, which is good.
No, we saw an Annie ban, in fact, in game 1. I thought of you. I wanted to bring it up, but I decided my words were spent better elsewhere.
Mm.
As Yeah, with this closer or not, I mean, does it also worry you as well? Oh my goodness, flashing forward, not going to get the handshake off.
All right.
In fact,
well, Sorolu's here first. Hold on.
The upright. Yeah, and they have no idea he's there. Young Jay is around, but Young Jay has no idea Sorolu is there. I think both junglers independently want to go in. There's the CC. There's the flag and drag. Yuzen is toast. First blood over to the Rakan. Can VKS walk away unscathed? Young Jay able to go forward here. Flashes forward. I don't know about that one, Chief. That is not a ton of damage. Loud have thrown away their first few minutes in this one. Kaiwing just thrilled to be able to go right back in, get himself a W. The flash forward as well. Bull does get one, and thank goodness. Look, it's still not good. But that could have been an ultimate Omega disaster if Bull doesn't get a kill.
I mean, it's still we can maybe take away ultimate, but it's still a mega disaster. I don't know what Young Jay's doing.
Yeah,
just
I don't know about that one, dude.
No Q. Is Wise going to kill Shino here? Might do.
Yeah, Shino was on the wrong side of the train tracks. A very rough flash there as Weiser simply solo kills the Scion.
Of course. Hey, man, we're getting goofy this game.
Yes, we are.
None of the things that have happened should have happened. The only thing that should have actually happened there was Yuzent's was going to die, and this is fine. There were two flashes committed to Yuzent's.
Right? It's a Jarvan.
Okay.
He didn't get seen on the pixel brush. That's fine. Cut your losses.
I think they low-key knew that he was there by the way that VKS were holding the wave and then immediately went forward. But I cannot forgive Young Jay's flash here. This is just completely egregious. And, Bull here, once he's committed to flashing forward, there's no real way out. Sayo, good barrier, keeps himself alive as well. But, yeah, some decisions that I would not have made were elected for by these two teams. And I'm looking at the top lane. Gino got solo killed. He went back and bought 3 cloth armors just to make sure.
Never again.
He was not happy. Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I'm gonna buy 3 cloth armors. And that is exactly what he's done. Yeah.
We compare that to Wise's build.
Yeah.
Wise's build again. No damage yet. This is a cull, a tier, and some shoes.
Yeah, he took his lead and said, "Thank you very much. I will now not be set back by these purchases. In fact, I will just play a different video game altogether." So junglers again collide in the bottom lane. Roodood, I was going to ask you a question. I mean, and feel free to kind of take this kind of whichever way you want. And does it matter even more or even less as far as kind of how this game has gone so far? So Rolo's going to start up the dragon with full vision, in full vision, I should say. As Young Jay might have something to say. Nope, never mind. Does it thematically, the fact that, like, I don't know, you've got Viari, you've got some, some dive E champions. Does it worry you that kind of Kalista Renata do not want to play that way at all? Or is it more about, well, it's about the range of the other champions, and even those, Jace goes from a long range away. Xayah has all right range. Like, I guess my question is the Kalista Renata fitting into this composition, right?
I'd argue that Kalista kind of wants to go forward. I'm going to be honest. Like, Kalista can kite back really well. Yeah, but Renata's great at disengage, but I think that Kalista, with a bailout on top of her, like, Kalista can do crazy things, right?
Okay.
And that's what I think should be the goal for Loud. Even if you're playing the most go back marksman, I think that when you've got Scion, Vi, Ahri, you kind of have to play in a sense that fits that trend.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. No, you've convinced me. That makes sense. What you're saying.
Good. Thank you.
CEO and Kaiwing gonna have some alone time with the turrets right now. Gonna get themselves even further ahead. And Bull and Yuzen got an even bigger hill to climb now. I mean, it was gonna be rough no matter what, but now it's just getting trickier and trickier. As Miru is also getting bigger and bigger. I thought he just straight up raw dogged Ignite. Nope, that is a unsealed spellbook. So glad that's not the case. Although it'd be fun, I suppose. But
yeah, Ignite versus Ahri seems optimistic is the word I want to use. That you're ever going to be able to find the Ahri. Good taunt, good charm.
Yep, now Yuzen gets forward, lands the handshake, gets knocked up. The CC chain is there. Waited the most possible time to bring down that Q2. Love that animation. Obsessed with that animation, actually, for the hero's entrance. But that's all we're going to get if you're a Cade fan, is a really cool animation, because now the charm lands. Now Kaiwing trying to go forward with the charm of his own with the quickness, able to clip Yuzen. But Envy is safe for now, and that's all that matters. Able to get damage out of Sorolu as he's had to flash away.
All right, I don't think that the flash from Envy there is needed necessarily. You still have bailout, and I think that if you force Sorolu to commit to that, you can probably find the reset on that. Maybe I'm wrong, and that flash is really well played by Envy. Either way, good to see that they are putting some money back on the board, and it's Envy who's going to be the one who's the recipient of that. I think that Miryu here, once he sees, so this is Charm used, Vi uses ulti, Yuzens uses Q, ulti the Jarvan, ulti the Rakan, get out of there, and I think you just make your way quite easily almost to safety. Instead, they try and make a play to try and turn this one back around. It really doesn't work. And VKS, they bend some ultis, spend some time doing things that they maybe ought not to have done, and they lose out in the run for it.
Yeah, too little, too late there from Miro. I'd agree with you there, right? You just need to buy some time. The reinforcements are coming, then maybe you can turn this into something. But you got very little value out of that. The CEO now on his way to. Does Essence Reaver build out of Sheen?
It does.
Yep. Okay. So I imagine that's what that second item is going to be. The charm lands again. Sorolu waiting in the wings. Not much to do there. He did grab himself the first dragon eventually. So big ups for Sorolu there after getting just kind of dog walked in the early game in game one, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, it's a small thing here, but Miryu there did short his taunt. So he E'd forward and then just single tapped his W, which meant that Envy was able to walk out and that the gank actually couldn't really come through. Might see them try and do something down on the bot side. Now, really, you should let Sayo start tanking this because he can drop it with ulti. He can drop aggro, but we'll see what they go for. They're going for
wave. You can get a lot of turret gold if nothing else. Yuzent might be the one that has to bite the bullet for his team.
Kalista just pulls it out.
Yep, just going to hoover her out. Going to throw out the hostile takeover. The range on that is quite something. Unstoppable Onslaught goes out. Wiser might be in a little bit of trouble here. Young Jay just able to get some CC down and a little bit extra damage on him. Wiser almost takes Shino down, but Shino gets the pressure relieved up on the top side. Meanwhile, after Sorolu bailed out, no pun intended, a little bit of fisticuffs traded on the bottom side. No dragon up just yet. Regrubs grabbed by Loud. As Shino's going to get a little bit more gold as well. And 3, 2, 1, pop. There goes that turret plate, and we get a replay.
Alrighty. And I mean, Wiser, great. You dodge out on the Scion ulti, but it is going to cost you your life. You still have flash ready, so there's a case to be made for flashing upwards, trying to dodge out and get out of safety or get out to safety that way. But there's an equally big argument for now Bull being in trouble.
Yeah, or you just get bolted by Vi. Now here comes the hero's entrance to try to reinforce the rest of VKS. As Bull just going to get the spears into Kaiwing. Might be able to trade it 1-for-1 if those don't lapse, but they do, unfortunately, and CEO is just going to right-click him to death. Bull playing very nicely, though, able to get in the brush, able to get the Featherstorm out, needs Kaiwing to come in and kind of bail him out a little bit. Bull was dancing on him a bit.
He was, and again, I think some small misplays coming out from some members of Loud. If he holds barrier there, or if he holds the rend, because you should know the barrier is coming, we should see a Jace who dies here. Yeah, wow. Good. And I mean, Loud, there are some good things coming from Young Jay, seemingly firing his ulti pretty much off CD and making some plays happen. I question whether or not getting the Scion fed is going to be the big ticket that they need to succeed. And, I harken back to what I said back at the start of the draft. Who kills Scion this game if he just builds every single armor item that exists? Probably no one.
Yeah.
Because Galio's not going to be the AP threat. So, put gold into the Scion, make him unkillable. Maybe the rest of the team can profit from that.
Yeah, it's a way to play. It's not going to hurt you necessarily, but it's all about opportunity cost, right? That is the whole thing here, right? What are you missing out on by putting the gold there? It's a finite amount that you could be putting it elsewhere. But if nothing else, you've set Wiser back a little bit, and I think maybe that is just what you're, that's kind of the other side of that coin, the unintended consequences. Skywing, he should be dead here. Yep, Charm going to land. As he was caught completely unawares, without vision, trying to do his supportal best. But instead will pay for it with his life, and all of a sudden, Roodood, we got a tie game. Just little by little, Cade relinquishing is the word I'm looking for this lead.
Yeah.
All right, Sorolu, well done.
It's very messy, this game so far. There's not really one set of players that are making a better argument than the other, if I'm being completely honest, but this is kind of why we do this, because objectively, this has been a lot more fun to watch than the last game, and I'm enjoying myself regardless. So Wiser here stepping forward. He wants to clear this next wave. Who's Shino calling for? Because he's sticking around here. He just showed, didn't he? No, maybe
I
not.
thought maybe, but Weiser hasn't reacted as such, so he's going to kick a minion over to him, get the Q down. Weiser popped his his top lane quest, as now I think he might just solo kill him here. Yeah, he does absolutely no damage. He's got just a
Geno flash.
He's just got no damage in his kit at all.
Yeah.
And Shino just runs him down.
Yomu's now finished for Weiser, so I don't know. Maybe that's going to turn around soon. Obviously, lethality versus armor stackers notoriously bad, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go. I mean, you got to get that Soroldas online yesterday.
Or maybe even a Serpent's Fang as well. I mean, Bull, the real victor here, because his solo laners are doing so well. He's playing the Kalista and has been kind of clotted through this early stage of the game, and the fact that he's able to get a way back into this because his solo laners are giving him so much freedom, definitely a big win that he'll be, excited by.
No, that's true, especially considering how this game started, right? It was like, oh, great. We've picked Kalista. She's gotten smacked around in the early game again. We have seen this 10,000 times in professional League of Legends. But, like you said, able to get advantages elsewhere. Young Jay with, it's 0-1-5. It doesn't look amazing, but like you said, he's been ripping the ult on CD, and he's been having an impact early, which as Vi, that is all you can ask for. And I think, and he's been paying his attention elsewhere, right? Not even going to Tango potentially entertain the fact that CEO could just kind of press a button and nullify his ultimate. So, like you said, it's like, oh, you're getting the Scion fed, but hey, look, the gold lead has been built up elsewhere, and Bull, he's been getting basically no attention paid to him just because the rest of the map has been on fire.
Yeah. Well, if we, again, to remind people for the sort of, not necessarily the stakes, but for this game in particular, the longer this game goes, the more we tend to favor Loud. So VKS having that early advantage was pretty important to them.
Yeah.
The fact that has since subsided, very much a problem for the Cade Stars, because the Scion at some stage is just going to become unkillable, and then we're waiting for Seo to have, probably 5 or 6 full items before he can actually get through the Scion in any case. So I'm really a little bit worried for what it is that VKS think is going to happen with this slightly lackadaisical play. Because they had this really good advantage, and they've unfortunately let it slip away.
Yeah, no, and like you said, it gets harder and harder to kill the Scion, right? You've got to chew through him. Like CEO can shred tanks eventually, but even then, right? Like you said, if you just build just all the armor in the universe, get a Randuin's in there eventually. It's
Frozen Heart,
exactly. Just build full I'm playing an in-house ARAM with my friends, and they have all picked, they've all picked armor, so I'm just going to be absolutely obnoxious. And wherever Shino is, success should follow for Loud. That certainly has been the name of the game in his debut in the CBLOL. Double TP comes in, able to get that. Herald is VKS, but is that all they'll get? With the Fate's Call, able to pull, using it back to safety, not able to get much done. His CEO is going to just rip through 2 targets that are locked up in the
Get the Herald, get the Herald.
Yeah, please, someone get the Eye of the Herald. Cade gonna grab it eventually. CEO will go down. It's a double kill for Young Jay. I want to get another look at this one. There was a lot going on. I thought Cade had the good fight. I thought they had purchased there, but Young Jay was monstrous on the Vi. Even though Jarvan able to ult 2 targets, it didn't really seem like it mattered.
It's a 4-for-0, and the saving grace is that Miryu sort of committed himself to securing that Herald, and that's about as good as it gets for VKS right there. They lose out on 4. They're going to lose this dragon as well. Again, they were stacking dragons, so that could have been an element of a win condition that they were looking for. But it's really not come to any sort of eventuality, and now is the point where you really start to question what it is that VKS are going to do. 1k gold lead for Gino, as he has to do nothing this game. He has to go farm minions, turn up to a team fight, and be a little bit obnoxious, and that's about his job.
Yep.
So it's really tricky. We finally get a replay of how this fight breaks out. Young Jay here, the one who takes focus, looks like they're doing really well here. VKS, they're getting on all the right targets, good double cataclysm, but the issue is that there's actually no damage on any of the key targets. Weiser actually goes in, tries to find Bull, but that's a little bit too little too late. And the whole time, Envy, Gino doing a exceptional job at sort of rallying and routing the rest of the VKS squad. You sort of dive so heavily that your Zaya is left out in the lurch, so Sayo gets popped. Yeah, not easy.
Yeah. Well, that was what kind of I noticed immediately was, oh, CEO is nowhere to be found. He's just on the other side of the map, on the other side of the fight, just saying, look, all I can do is right-click this Scion.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I'm going to do. And meanwhile, the rest of his teammates are just getting, they're just getting world starred. Just jumped and just beaten the snot out of. You get that reference, World Star?
No idea.
Okay, so it was a site that was like kind of the MySpace era. So like
Okay.
more of a millennial website.
I'm not even
like
of the MySpace era, so
yeah, exactly.
You know?
You and I are both kind of borderline millennial, Gen Z. We're of that age, but this was fully millennial. As Mira was able to get a double taunt here. See if he could dissuade this dive potentially. They did get that Herald earlier, so maybe you ride that to victory. All right, the World Star chat might have to wait here. Kaiwing does have his ultimate. He doesn't have Flash able to close the gap, but
Battle Herald.
that was Sorolu showing up. Hold on. Bull can't see.
Here we go.
But should be all right. The flag goes down. No drag just yet.
No. Well, they're going to get mid-tier 1, I think, off of this, which is a nice little sequence for them. They missed the EQ onto Bull, and that means that he's probably dead.
Let's see here. Bull able to stay alive just a little bit longer. Sorolu able to get the shield out, the flag and drag. A little bit of shield from Kaiwing as well. Shelly was not driven into the tower. She was driven eventually into the tower, but not before she lost half her HP because they clipped the terrain there, unfortunately. Look, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying that's what happened. And they don't even get the mid-tier 1. So,
yeah,
that's unfortunate. But the first tower of the game does go down, or second tower, I should say, does go down on the other side as Wiser able to open up the map in some way, shape, or form.
That feels a bit rough. Go on. Tell me about WorldStar.
No, WorldStar, it was the full name of the website was worldstarhiphop.com, and it was, hold up, Bull, can he dance his way out of this one? There goes the Blade Caller. Yep. The Feather Storm. So, they do get something back. So, I mean, okay, Cade do punch back here. The gold lead is still even. It really does not feel like that, though.
No, it feels like Loud are kind of dancing around and sort of playing their own music, and it's VKS who are trying to sort of respond to the beat of the drum that Loud are putting down, which, for the most part, has been consistent, if not, again, slightly off of what I would anticipate, you know? So, like, they're doing something relatively consistently. Is it the right thing? That's where the question marks start to be raised.
But then I think that raises an equally frustrating question again. If you're Cade, it's like, Loud aren't, they're always doing something. Which, look, in League of Legends, that can get you a lot further than you might think, right? Just be doing something. As Bull just gets toasted here. It takes 2 ultimates, but they eventually do get the Loud AD carry. But it's like, Cade still aren't able to respond, right? And worse yet, they've choked away their early lead. That they got just spoon-fed, often maybe not an ultimate mega disaster, but as you and I have so scientifically coined, a mega disaster in the bottom lane. And Wiser dying up here, 1-5-0. Ooh, man.
Are we revoking the Jace card?
Yeah. Well, no one has the Jace card. No one should ever have the Jace card.
No one person.
No. But if you ever had the Jace card or got loaned it on a kind of, loan with an obligation to buy sort of thing. Get that out of here. Yeah, Wiser. Just did not know there were homies in his jungle, but he didn't know where 2 members were, so you had to assume maybe just take the back route, go behind the tower, right, that wave. But I know, easy to say in hindsight, but either way, just put himself in a compromising position. Young Jay should be able to buy a little bit of time here to get the rest of the squad there. It would be a 4v3, actually a 5v3. If they're able to collapse there, Young Jay buys enough time. The heroes entrance come in. Now it's a 5v4. Young Jay able to get away from the Cataclysm. And I think he unfortunately will actually die here. Now CEO shows up. He's trying to get through Shino, but it takes a long, long time. But he's able to flash away.
Preserves his HP bar here.
Yeah.
This means that Loud won a contest. If they didn't want a contest, they could just let Shino burn his HP. But I think they've realized, actually, wait, we don't have a jungler. How are we contesting? And it's actually VKS who are pushing forward a little bit.
Yeah.
Trying to find something extra. We're just trying to deny that tier 1 turret falling. What is Miru doing?
For some reason, just walking forward when he knows exactly where the... I'm so confused.
What is he doing?
There was no reason to do that.
No, he was trying to stop recalls, I think, and then killed himself.
Who cares? You got a dragon. Your game is slipping away from you. Like, you've got 3 dragons. That is a massive victory.
It's a tough position that VKS seemingly find themselves in, but every single time it's self-inflicted, which is the problem that we have, because we remember VKS, who at this time last split were, doing so well, who we were thinking at this time last year were doing so well, as now Young Jay goes 4th.
CEO doesn't get much with the Featherstorm. Blade Callers it back. Yeah,
He's dancing a little bit.
Here. Yeah.
He just does no damage currently, right? We need that Last Whisper and we need that Infinity Edge, and then maybe we can talk. But he just pumped up a good chunk of autos. Nothing actually happened.
Nope. Sorolo separated from the rest of the fight. CEO
Look at him.
Just tickling Shino. There's nothing he can do.
Yeah. Now he has got Conqueror, which is, maybe the best rune that he would need in this case. We'll see if he can ever get through, or even half of Gino's health would be a start.
That's
but it's just not looking good. It's not looking good, bruv.
Oh, Charm lands, and Kaiwing is just dead. Use that able to grab the killing blow there, but a fantastic charm by Envy. Playoffs Envy, might we add, as the tier 1 goes down, the hostile takeover goes down as well. And Hero's entrance off the back of it. Use him with the bailout will not be enough, but Loud just cleaning house. It's a double kill for Miro, and that is absolutely all they're going to get. Weiser can't do anything. It's an ace.
And it's Baron as well. Gino's going to tank it up. Bull will take the damage. Who's killing this Scion 4x4? We posed this question in the draft, and it's one that VKS just do not have an answer to.
No.
They did so well by locking in the Xayah, but they then forgot that they're going to need magic damage to get through a Scion, which, fair enough. I think the other answer here would have been Kai'Sa, but that, again, is not an easy job. Kai'Sa better at tank shredding than the Xayah, but you don't have the safety that you would have got from the Viality like you get in this situation. But like Seo this whole time, doing really well. Got some good uptime on his autos, trying his hardest, but then he gets to a point where he's just got to run. And it's actually the solo laners, Mirio and Weiser, who, for the most part, have been kind of not performing so far in this game, that are able to do some damage back. But again, seeing Young Jay pop off in the background, there's kind of nothing that we can expect when the Scion just doesn't die. He's even got a Spirit Visage. He's loaned them a free item and said, I don't need all this armor.
That's crazy. I
guess it's for the synergy.
Additional healing, right?
Yeah, with the Unending Despair, is my best guess. So you get healing from that, and then you get Spirit Visage to give you more healing, which is just it's basically saying you do so little damage, actually, that I don't need to protect against you, and instead I'm going to profit my own dopamine.
Yeah. Instead, literally, I'm going to prioritize my own numbers going higher. I think this will be a good cook. He's just playing arena at this point, honestly.
Now Baron at their backs. We'll see. Tier 2 turret. Not even proccing the Crystalline Overgrowth here, but they are waiting for Envy in the mid lane, who, quietly on this Ahri, been pretty consistent with these charms. 10 stacks on a Dark Seal as well.
Yeah.
So maybe we get to see a nice book being picked up later on.
Yeah, Envy's been all right. Flag and drag over. Sorolo, Envy playing very respectfully there. Now the cease and desist comes through on Demiru. Stopwatch to buy himself a little bit of time, but he just gets absolutely mauled. Pumped into smithereens. There goes the hostile takeover. Kaiwing gets out of dodge. Sorolo caught between a rock and a hard place, and they're both named Shino.
It's beautiful from Loud here. They are methodical, they're systematic, and they are destroying VKS as we move into this late game. Baron at their back. I mean, there's very little that VKS can do from this position.
Could they?
If they can get 3,000 gold to Seo, maybe that Infinity Edge could be the difference. But Shino is just so tanky. He just walks up. He's going to tank both these turrets. Look at him.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tank the turrets. I'm going to tank the AD carry. Full combo. You got half my HP. Congratulations. Now you will die for your sins. And Loud are going to win. They're just going to take the game off of these couple little picks. Loud with a 2-0. I mean, this was absolutely, it started off with a mega disaster. It was so bad. It was like the worst possible thing happened in the first few minutes. And you go, oh, well, there's Loud being Loud. But this is kind of the version that, this is the version that you think, damn, they could kind of, look, it is just against Cade, and whoa, Cade looked rough. But if Loud keep playing like this, man, then we're in for, but this is the kind of thing where, again, Red, by virtue of being the first seed, next round of playoffs, they get to choose their opponent. I promise you, if Loud wins this, they are not picking Loud. They are not the 6th best team.
No, they're not. And I was, me coming into playoffs, I was kind of thinking, what's happening here? Hello, conferring with the enemy. That's not legal between games, surely. Anyway, Envy and Sorolu catching up, having a nice little time there, talking about the fact that they had a mega disaster in the early game and somehow VKS still lost that game. So
you were there for that too, right, Lamau?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you remember when we threw the game at level 1 and you threw it back?
That was super chill of you guys. Thanks, guys.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's just really rough, man. And I mean, the problem started with in draft and really were never answered, right? I mean, the only things that went right for Cade were moments where Shino wasn't there. And Weiser did solo kill Shino, to be fair. And then Shino built 3 cloth arbors. He said, all right, I'm going to go serrated Dirk,
full build,
and tier.
What are we doing? There's just no way that you can fight back to that. And as the Jace, you have to prioritize. Are you going to fight for the lane, or are you going to fight for the team? And I think fighting for the team is the right call there. So accepting that you're not going to get the business done versus the Scion after the first solo kill is that win. But yeah, some tricky situations that Loud found themselves in, and they got out quite easily, to be honest. VKS, more and more head scratches.
It just looks really, really rough, and I think that's kind of the lowercase a analysis here is it sort of comes back to what you said in the middle of this game, is a lot of, if not all of the wounds here are self-inflicted for Cade. Loud have been the better team, and for every throw there's a catch, all those nice platitudes, but Cade they are hamstringing themselves. They're going into so many of these fights in these games with one hand tied behind their back. And against a team like Loud, who God knows they're a flawed team, but they are the reigning champions, they will punish you. And that's exactly what they've done. Loud, I mean, they've played really well, but they haven't had to use 100% of their brain power, if you will. So
yeah,
it's been a rough one, man. Any final thoughts before we take it to a break?
VKS need to sort it out. They are such a better team. They're so much a better team than this series is showing right now. And I don't think that it's because Loud have got their number entirely. VKS came into this as our 3rd seed for a reason, and we just haven't seen that in any sense right now.
Couldn't agree more. With that, we're going to take it to a break. When we come back, Game 3, Loud going for the sweep in this first round. back. Hi, everybody. I'm Roodood. That's 4x4. No, it's not. That's the opposite. But but we are in a draft.
Oopsies.
That's the truth. Yeah. Loud have just tonked BKS this series, man. 4 straight wins dating back to last week, and they really, Cater, they're scrambling right now, man. I mean, and this draft is going to be. This draft is going to be pivotal because a lot of the self-inflicted wounds on the Rift, off the Rift, they haven't done themselves any favors. And in game 2, you asked the question, who's going to kill the Scion? The answer was nobody, and the game became a bit of a nothing burger because again, no one could kill the Scion.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like we predicted this would happen. So when it happens, we can't be entirely surprised by this. Nevertheless, we'll see if Loud can find a way back, if they can, or rather VKS can find a way back. We do still have the double overlay, so we can see the double picture on the bottom right-hand side. If I just alert my producer, hopefully Dia can make sure that we're all good. Chilling, take that away.
A heads up. So,
well, I did it on air to publicly shame them, so that's my mistake, and I apologize for that. Either way, the bans have come through. I can't tell you what VKS banned. I can tell you, though, that they first picked Illusion. Wait, I can tell you. They banned Vayne and Nautilus.
Okay, so, yeah, Nautilus he's kind of reared his big lovable head lately as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's largely a Kai'Sa pairing, I think, at this stage.
Yeah.
And when we get through, what are we in? Four enchanters deep. We've probably got another round of Nami Lulu left in the tank. Milio still open as well. True. That gets locked into deny. So they're favoring the Nami here. Are Loud by taking away the Milio, which to each their own. We'll see. But clearly they've got an idea of what they're going to take with this Milio. Could be Yunara, could be Jinx as well. Really common pairing. And we'll see what it is that gets locked in for Loud in that bot lane role also.
Nara is the first pick, like you said, pretty just deny that, or just a bit of a neutralizer. Lucian Nami on the other side. You're going to put, again, more eggs in the basket of that bottom lane, which is not a bad idea, Roodood. I mean, they've been all right. Sarolu, happy to pay attention to that bottom lane, get them ahead. Worked out all right for them in game 2 and game 1. They got was it Caitlyn Karmad? So that wasn't ideal, but put some eggs in this basket. And look, CEO and Kaiwing, they have been actually all right. But we pointed it out. As Wiser, he's going to get to play a different game. He's going to play
Yorick.
He's going to play the Yorick into the Gnar. And the Draven is locked in here for Bull.
Goodness. Welcome to Brazil. This is what we like to see. The first Draven of the split is locked in by a Korean import. Brazilian AD carries feel shame upon you. However, Bull, trying to immerse himself in the culture, picks himself a Draven with the Milio.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, this is exactly what you want to see. How do you feel about it into this Lucian Nami, though?
Good, right?
Yeah.
Lucian Nami, pretty good lane. Draven, incredible lane. So, I'm here for it. I really think that... Smiley clearly also really thinks something over there. I really think that the Bull should have a good time of things down on this bot side.
We're certainly going to have a lot on his plate. And yeah, with Emilio there to just keep him up. And then after level 6, all of a sudden that game gets a lot easier to play. And he banned away. So Loud or BKS clearly looking out for your mental health, Roodood. But Sarolu not going to be on the Skarner. Or is Mirror going to be on the Twisted Fate?
We do now know what Smiley was very eagerly nodding about. Somebody said, should we ban Annie? Yes, we should. Good.
Yes, absolutely.
That means I can't pick it for you. Good.
Yes, exactly.
The Skarner getting locked in is a pocket takeaway from Sarolu. Maybe not a pocket, but it's like, we're a few games into the Fearless now. Yeah. We've got to go for those lower echelon junglers. The Twisted Fate as well, which I really quite like, does mean that we could see something like maybe a Talia come through, and you might want to go for some cross-map plays that you're hoping don't get responded to. But you've still got to find your jungler here, and I think that that's going to be the big ticker here, because there are still lots of bans that have been taken away. And obviously with being this far into Fearless, we've got a good few picks that also have not been taken.
No, still some stuff on the board. Absolutely. LeBlanc, that's not like I know it's not the hover thing, but I'm just taking this opportunity to say that Envy does have that in his bag. He's been around the block
And he
and
has
back
it blind.
quite a few
Holy.
times. Does he have it blind? He does. In fact, that I was not expecting.
Yeah. I was expecting like a little hover to say, "Yo, pick a control mage, see what happens." But he takes
And
it.
now it's like how much confidence do they have in Miru? Because you were on Galio duty beforehand. You were on Oriana duty before that, and actually the Oriana actually went all right. To be fair to him, but
We're
taking away the
Syndering.
Twisted Fate as well. So we'll see just what he's entrusted with here.
The Poppy into the jungle now for Sorolo, which I quite like. Really good versus the Gnar, really good versus the LeBlanc. So we'll see what it is that the answer for Loud will be. I mean, currently, very strange composition for Loud. I don't quite know what's going to tie all of this together because they've got Assassin LeBlanc, they've got really strong early game Draven, and then neutralizing Gnar. Tying all of these pieces together, we probably just want a jungler who can facilitate Bull and Uzens getting a lead.
Yeah, I mean, that's because that's the thing that this entire composition is going to kind of tick around, right? Because if they're not getting a lead, odds are, who is getting a lead is on the other side, Seo and Kaiwing on that Lucian Nami and getting that snowball rolling, being able to overload certain parts of the map, right? Just fight as kind of this, 3-man chunk of Poppy, Lucian, Nami, and then letting Weiser do his thing up on the top side. You see how the comp's potentially going to play itself out for Kate, but this does feel very solo QE or Loud. Tons of interesting hovers here. What will they grab? It'll be the Trundle.
All right. I mean, I don't think a single thing could have tied all of this together. The Kiana was definitely not what I was looking for. The Trundle, a little bit more in line. And I'm okay with that. You can look to maybe ulti the Poppy. We can pillar the Culling. We can pillar Nami and Victor. There's a good set of tools here for Loud and for Young Jay in particular to snowball this game, because objectively that's what it is. If they fall behind, they are probably going to get toasted by Miru. Miru here on the Victor. If they get ahead, they can probably steamroll everyone.
Yeah, and the other thing too is I think for Young Jay, this is kind of a bit of a Young Jay pick, right? I see this as something that you could become sort of that soft carrier, that secondary carry, right? You have you're self-sufficient early on. You can take a lot of those those less favorable fights. And I think it's something that I think he's gonna have a good time with. So I think characteristically this is good for Young Jay. Look for him to get a lead early, like you said. You can ult the Poppy. There aren't fantastic ult targets, but that's not all that you could do with Trundle. But like you said, the knitting together, that is the thing for Loud. But clearly they're playing with a lot of confidence here. They think that we can just simply outmuscle you. And to be fair, in the first couple games, they've kind of shown that.
They have. If you want to go for a hands check when you're 2-0 up in a series, is the time to do it, if nothing else. So, hey, maybe it comes up trumps for them and they get a clean 3-0 and they really make themselves look good. And alternatively, they get absolutely smoked this game and then, they have to go. All right, guys, we're not quite built like that. We're not that different.
No. Which very well could happen. Look, again, it's been a lot of self-inflicted wounds for Cade. I still believe that this team is a serviceable CBLOL team. Right now, they don't look it, but I know what's in there. I've watched these players play for too long and too recently, right? You talked about it, Roodood. This time last year. Well, actually, I was going to say it was these players. It's actually not. This is actually a completely different roster, except for Miru. So, clearly, just not a lot of stability with Cade, and that's kind of been their hallmark. I think if we're talking kind of a little more meta, like off the rift, that is something that you can't really ignore about what was the model work last year in Brazil.
Yeah, they slowly change little pieces, and they do it in a way that makes it look like they've not upheaved the whole roster. But then you look back at 2025 to 2026, and we look at where they were, the team that was doing really well, and then the team now, and then we go,
This isn't that.
Corporate needs you to find the difference between these two pictures.
Exactly.
Well, everything. The only thing the same is this.
Is the thing that has been the biggest source of frustration for Cade fans and for us as well. Because Miru, I mean, again, at the peak of his powers, 9 months ago, he was the best player in the league. And he was the one that when we were still the Americas region for that one insane year, I told too many people, Miru is him. He has the sauce. He's got the juice. He's got every sort of condiment or shitty food metaphor that you want. There's my one. Sorry. that you want to throw together. CEO and Kaiwing gonna let Bull and Uzent hear a little bit of their music.
I mean, just keep going. You know, like, how are you playing this lane? Draven's double stacked up on his axes. You're not getting XP.
No.
I'm very happy if Bull and Uzents deny themselves creeps to deny XP, and I think that's what happened. I think those first 3 melee creeps for Seo and Kaiwing weren't actually picked up in terms of experience. So that should be a sizable advantage already down on that bot side. Now, it did come at a little bit of a health cost. Cozy Campfire, as far as spells go, is a much longer cooldown than the Ebb and Flow, and the healing from it as well, pretty underwhelming. It's largely the range that you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, looking at that XP, Seo, Kaiwing, they got none from the first 3 waves, so they're going to need... Well, the first 3 creeps, rather. So I don't think they'll need bailing out necessarily, but this is now where Bull and Uzents are going to try and hopefully crash this wave. It's whether or not Sorolo gets in time. He's skipping all of his camps to be here on this window to try and make a gank happen.
It was a level 3 gank. Do just enough to get to that 3rd level and get in there and make an impact. Like you said, CEO and Kaiwing, they're still level 1. Not sure what Sorolo's waiting for here. Maybe just a level 2, I guess. But even then, now the wave is starting to bounce back, and they got nothing out of it.
I think that the goal there for Bull and Uzent should have been push the wave, recall. You're not going to get too much from this, but Young J now looking for the Victor. Should be flash forced here.
Ooh, yeah, Envy. Just a little bit too low. Yep, there's that flash, and I think that is a dub, considering the state of where that wave was, how Envy was doing health-wise. That's a win.
Yeah, I do think the Victor can do pretty well into the LeBlanc. Obviously, one of the big tricksy parts of LeBlanc is the fact that she can go invisible, or not can go invisible, but does go invisible when she gets to those low thresholds. The Victor doesn't tend to care because laser hits anyway, ulti hits anyway. So not an awful matchup for the Victor if you can get through the first few levels where the LeBlanc can do some pretty decent work up against you. As we do see on that top side, Shino seemingly under pressure in terms of those HP bars, but not really too much so in the lane. Now, Young J once again trying to return to this mid lane as Miryu, respecting the fact that he has no flash. The second Envy looks like he's in range for a W and a chain. He's got to back off.
Double TP's burned. As both champions coming in with a Dark Seal. Feeling very good about their prospects, clearly. Well, also, I mean, that's not exactly how the Dark Seal kind of tech works, but it's not just an ego pick. It's a, hey, well, it's just got to get stacked up. It's free stats. It's not a bad first back to give yourself that combat power, with the upside obviously being immense here early on. Sorolu got the other side of his jungle done. Only got 1 level out of that. Young J and Envy. Yeah, I mean, Sorolu, the second he takes his blast cone to get a more efficient path to his blue buff. Like you said, cue the Jaws music, flashing away, got his flash as well. So 2 pillars, 2 flashes for Young J, but now Loud sticking around here. A lot of pings coming down, but everybody else is locked in their lane. This is a 2v2, boys. You got to figure it out yourselves.
Bubble under the turret, so Bull can't trade back as Seo does take a couple of autos on the way out. Wolf secured for Young J. Now Sorolu just barely able to squeeze between the gap there. Cho'Gath not fitting through that one.
No.
And Sorolu probably walks it out. Young J's actually got flashed. He might just,
and Sorolu famously does not. But Young J is going to take 2 tower shots, so Mirror should be able to take care of him here. It's a 1-for-1. First blood over to Loud, though.
I'm actually really worried about this Victor. I think that Mirror is going to be able to take over. He's doing very well individually in that 1v1, despite the fact that Young J went and burnt his flash. Envy's continually struggling, and now with some double buffs, a 25 stack increase to his passive, I think that Miru is going to have to turn Super Saiyan this game. And I think he's in the really good spot to do that.
Yeah, Victor, like you said, he can absolutely take over a game. So Young J, he's going to get over to that lane immediately. Miru now does have level 6. Wards Young J off fantastically with the gravity well, with the W. Yeah, so, all right, all eggs in the Mirror basket. Look, you played, you know, a supportive role in game 2. That went disastrously. The Orianna in game 1 was actually all right, but the solo laners have not been really the strong points for Cade. And look, Weiser, we still haven't talked a ton about him. But into the Shino now.
Yeah, he played Jace last game. We ought not to mention too much about that.
Man, he did. Yeah, and they that's what one of the comments was saying was they banned away Shino's Vayne. Respect. Sorolu. Now going to start this first dragon up. as Miru continues so that little bit of a lead he's got up there on the in the mid lanes. He's 300 gold up, hasn't recalled just yet, but now will do so with that wave crashing in. As Envy, look, you've got, I mean, I guess you've got like, yeah, you've got 2 assassination targets. We'll see how Miru wants to build as well, right? We have seen kind of a, Roa Victor and things like that. Ooh, can you slam against your own baby cage there? Can Shino use that against him?
I don't think so.
Gonna die here?
Did Youngjae die?
That's close, man.
Very
The mate
close.
got a lot of work done.
Yeah, he almost found the 1-for-1 there. But with no TP as well, this is going to be a death that sticks for Wiser. Probably loses out on probably half this wave by the time he home guards out, and by the time Shino pushes it all the way under the turret. But both of these 2 top laners went for the full snooze build in their first recall. Started out with the shields, snooze. Started out with plated steel caps, even bigger snooze. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Let's build some damage. They've got a longsword in their inventory, so they're probably going to build into Trinity Force or Gino, whatever it is that Yorick's build these days as well. But it is a really good pickup early on to be able to deny that Yorick the side lane capabilities. As soon as you get caught inside that baby cage, that is a problem. We also need to think of a rename for Veigar's E, because Veigar's E was the OG baby cage.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than Yorick's, so it can't be the baby cage.
It's
the playpen?
The playpen. The playpen, because you've got all your little kiddos in there as well.
Yeah. I like that.
All right. Good.
We'll call it if we ever see Veigar, we've got a name ready.
Yes.
No, it's if we ever see Veigar and Yorick in the same game, because otherwise we can just use baby cage for all of them.
Say baby cage.
There you go. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Also,
fourth wall casting there for everyone at home. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. The don't say we never did anything for you. Youngjae also 100% KP. But where he goes, success follows in the early game. I mean, tell me if you've heard that one before, Roodood. This has been the formula for Loud in the early game. Bull says stand aside. He's going to get extra range and healing there. Uzent is level 6 in case the Aqua Prison comes down. Won't be able to cleanse the tidal wave, but the Aqua Prison, yes, you can ult yourself out of that with the Breath of Life. Highwing needs to hit level 6, man. I mean, just so badly to have a chance in this trade should Youngjae want to go in, should Loud want to hit the go button and send everybody forward.
The Nami, fortunately, just able to sustain much better than the Milio.
This is true.
The traits that are coming through aren't favoring Bull. And Uzent can't just cozy campfire all the way up like Highwing can, puts 3 points into ebb and flow. You're getting, 150 HP back every trade. You put 3 points into cozy campfire. A, you're trolling. B, you're not getting the juice out. You're not getting those big heals from cozy campfire. It's for the range more than anything. So this Draven has not yet died. And you talk about paranoias and the first ulti for junglers. How impactful is it? It's the first kill for Dravens. Whether Draven is the first kill or whether he finds the first kill is the crucially important part. If you get to cash in on all of those stacks that you build up in the lane, or if you lose them all on death. Yeah, it's not all of them, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It feels like all of them, such as the opportunity cost of not dying there. But yeah, look, the snowball still hasn't gotten rolling here for Loud. It's still 0-0-0 down in the bottom lane. That's a lot of damage that has now come in for Bull with the BF sword. You get a little bit of healing as well. First Dragon did go over to Cade. Cerolo able to grab that one, but the Grubs go over to Loud. They're up 2-0. Here in this best of 5. Their next opponent, well, it'll be whoever, if Red decides that Loud are the team we want to tango with. I don't think that's going to be the case because they look like a different animal right now. But Cade,
I think
very much not out of this one.
Ooh. Good bubble. Well, Uzent does have a lot of spells to keep himself and Bull alive. One of the really good things about Milio here is Envy finds a short but sweet trade up against the Victor, who, as you highlighted, we were curious a little bit about the build path. Plenty of different things build out of a Lost Chapter. I get the impression we're going to get a very good indication as to what it is, all in bot side.
Ooh, and Uzent forced a flash out of him as well. I'd say that's a dub if you're Vivo Cade Stars.
TP.
Well, hang on a second here. There's that TP. Bull gonna eat the barrier. Gonna eat the culling with the barrier. Miru comes in. Uzent is just dead. Throwing everything onto him, and now Bull will die as well. A fantastic turn of events for Vivo Cade Stars.
Yeah, and I think that it's early to say, but those are the types of things that break games for Dravens.
Yeah.
We need to see some very serious loss mitigation factors put into play for this Loud bot lane now, as Miryu is taking his lead from the mid lane and has now just extended it down to that bot side. Found 1 kill onto Uzents. I respect Bull going forward for it, but again, you're just going to get baited by the Nami very easily almost there as Kyrwing flashes away from the Draven, makes the Draven flash in even. So yeah, it's pretty well done, well played by Kyrwing here, sort of playing on the limits. As could have maybe caught Uzents had he timed his bubble a little bit better, but the turnaround from Loud, I mean, at this point, when you see the TP, you just have to turn tail and run. Flash up, try and get out to safety, but they went a bit too aggressive, a bit too far forward, thinking they could find something in response, and that's where that eagerness really costs them.
Now, Cerulu says, actually, we're not done yet. We want to put you in the dirt. Keeper's verdict out as well. Just tap
Youngjae turn this.
Bull, and now with that ultimate down, Youngjae, he's got the subjugation as well, so he could go in. Now Cerulu going to flash away. Miru and Envy doing battle in the mid lane. I think I know who's going to win this one. Miru doesn't have ultimate, to be fair, but Envy still taking the business end of these trades regardless.
I mean, Envy missing the chain there. You lose out on so much of the damage. You can't get a second proc on Sigil, your W. I mean, I think he's either used that to engage or disengage. So if he's using it for damage, then that's great. Oh, Seo. Stand aside does interrupt the Lucian, which is a really nice interaction for the Draven, but I mean, we can see he's still just so much further behind the curve. Draven needs to be, importantly, right? Not far behind the Lucian, but you would expect a Draven to be further ahead.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not even that he hasn't cashed anything in, it's that he has actively cashed out. The early game has not gone well for him at all, and credit to Cade, man, especially for Miru, right? He has been the most maligned player for this Cade roster, and I would say for good reason, because I mean he's shown so much more. He's shown that he can and should be an absolute carry condition for this team. But now he's got the carry pants on, Roodood, and he's in a fantastic position to give this game over and keep the series alive for Cade. As the tidal wave does go out here, won't be able to catch Shino. The W does proc on him. Cerulu actually says we might not be done just yet here, boys. But yes, and in fact they will.
I mean, you talk about people who we've seen stuff from in the past, and I grant you that this is not domestic, but Kywing is like formerly a top 8 global support. Like, we've seen good things from a good few members on this VKS roster, right? Seo, multiple international events when he was in the LLA. This is not to mention Weiser as well. This is a star-studded roster for VKS that currently is absolutely eating it in this series. So we say all of these things and we have so much hope for them because of what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
And it's just not quite adding up yet.
No, not quite. Yeah, because I mean, some of those things, right, in a more distant past, some of those things in a different, region, a different team setup, and we do want to be fair that, look, like we said, this roster, it might take some time to gel. I mean, this is they just made a jungle change, for crying out loud, right? Desamis, the mascot, I think this whole thing was built around when CL came in. He said, no, I want this dude leading the charge, and now he's gone as well. Miru is the only holdover left from that. Morteus is gone. Smiley from the old roster is gone. Freaking what's the name of the former rogue support that was the Cade support last time around?
Trimby.
Trimby, he's gone as well. Miru is gone here as well. Hold on, is he? He is, in fact.
Yes.
But will not get anything out of that. Youngjae did pop the subjugate earlier, so has those increased resistances. Cerulu might not be long for this world. Envy, he's got to get one more combo off. Youngjae just buying enough time. It's a killing spree for him. All of Loud's kills have gone on to Youngjae.
And as much as I'm a fan of Cerulu, I think that so far this series has been dictated by Youngjae, even in 100%. Game 2. A solid performance. Honestly, game 1 as well, right? That Zehen game where he was 5-0-3 at a certain point on the Zehen for Cerulu, but this series has been dictated by Youngjae, and I think this game is the best example of that. 4 kills for the Trundle, and just making everything pay.
Yep, I'm gonna get another look at it here, and I think, I mean, crucially for Loud, you got more kills onto your Trundle, fantastic, but taking Miru a little bit out of his comfort zone, right? I mean, and if that play goes sideways, then all of a sudden you start really considering, oh snap, this is a legitimate carry threat, this is a legitimate win condition for Cade now, right? But Miru was stopped at his tracks, and I think, to me, Roodood, that's as big of a win as any for Loud.
It is. What this does is that it stalls the game, but it doesn't offset Miru, right? Like, he's still going to be a threat later on. It's just delaying when that happens. So it's obviously very good for Loud that they delay that. They are still pressured by the clock. They do still have a Draven who has not been able to get into this game, and if the Draven does nothing, then that's a really bad position to find yourself in. They do still have a LeBlanc, again, one of these champions that can function well in the late game, but definitely struggles to. So we're looking largely at Gino and Youngjae here. I mean, Gino on the Gnar, probably going to be able to split push effectively versus the Yorick, has seemingly a 1.4k gold lead from nothing here, which is a little bit wild, but
that's nice to see.
Such is the world. Yeah. So it's coming from those two, and we'll see if that makes anything for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's two kind of big pieces of both these rosters, right? The Yorick and then the Draven, who have done essentially nothing this game. Which one to you is the bigger worry? Is it the Draven?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bull here just absolutely struggling, and the Lucian, again, not the best versus the Draven, but you can just play culling and effectively keep the Draven at range. Heal and barrier expended there just because Seo threw a W.
Yeah. So that's the kind of power that he's rocking with. But again, you still got Emilio. You still got just that little bit of sustain, right? Not as good as the Nami as we've outlined. I mean, Nami, she came back into the meta in 2022. She never really let go. This champion is just nasty, doing exactly what she was printed to do all those many years ago. Was she a mid laner when she first came out?
Nami? Maybe. Hold on. We are beefing, though, down here as Bull yet to find the cash in. Envy on the super flank of Doom.
This is the super flank of Doom.
Sarolu.
This is great. Yeah, Sarolu just said, all right, I smell blood in the water. Kaiwing, just run for your life, and we should be able to bait Envy into a spot that we want to. Now the rest of the squad has caught up.
Kaiwing is in super Narnia right now. Super Cone into recall is probably your best bet, but I don't know that this is... Yeah, okay, execute is the right play. All right, well, I think they wasted a lot of time. Kaiwing will fall. It's the first death, not too important for him as he doesn't give over really any gold, and we get a little bit of a song and dance. As I mean, Loud here in this game, our 3k gold to the good. It's largely out of Gino and Youngjae. Youngjae appropriately so. Gino questions because we didn't get to see it of why, but that's absolutely fine, and we'll see hopefully that Gino can continue with this. He's building for the Black Cleaver, I imagine, next to try and help Bull if they get to teamfight stage. But equally, if you can go side, I mean, I wouldn't have been against a Blade of the Ruin King for a second item, to be honest, because he's slamming Weiser out there.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, look, Gnar, he's he's not a damage threat right up until he is, right? So, like you said, just keeping Weiser in the dirt, I think, yeah, if you can just make sure that he is just simply a non-factor, you'll never be too mad at that. With the dragon up here, Loud had some purchase onto it, but then got a little bit back, did Kate, as far as the vision department is concerned. See who's the first one in the pit here. We are just getting the BR ram here. Oh, man. Bull goes way too far forward. He wanted that so badly, and he will not survive. Seo does go down on the other side. Shino gets a kill onto him, but yeah, is that a backbreaker?
And again,
is backbreaker too much of a...
I don't know. It's again just going for these plays that you've not calculated or not executed on. Flash forward, and if he lands the stander side, maybe you can get the auto onto Kaiwing, but you just missed the stander side. Like it's fundamental sort of missed plays here, which never feels good. And it's Miru the one who cashes in, which just adds insult to injury here because the Victor's the one that we're looking at to take over this game as it gets later. So, you know, that compounding heartbreak almost.
Yeah, it just goes from bad to worse as another shutdown comes in here as Envy. Not in the right place, in the wrong place at the wrong time. As Miru now is 4-1. And things just get a lot trickier when this Victor gets rolling. And it doesn't look like he's building any of this Rod of Ages woke nonsense either. He's here to destroy your team with Arcane Fury.
The left have indeed gone too far, and Miru is putting a stop to it. It's now... It's full flat damage. We've got tier 3 boots. It's actually, never mind. He's gone straight back to Chovy business with the proto belt being picked up, which I'm immediately going to stop it. But again here, so you know that Seo's going to have spells. If you'd have just flashed an auto, by the way, would have killed Instead, tried to flash, then E, instead of using the time to channel an auto attack. Channeled his E instead and then died. So, again, multiple pretty big blunders here by Bull. And it's costing Loud, right? They're a composition that needs to win early. They have a lead, but it's not in the areas that they need it to be. Gino and Youngjae are the ones sort of keeping the game afloat, but I wonder for how long. If they can get access to Mirio, then that's fine. But if Gino can't do that and it feels like it's going to be just Gino, then that's a problem.
Yeah, no, you simply must kill Miru, right? And so I think that becomes the new question, like you're alluding to, is how do you get back there? Who gets back there? Fight breaks out here as Miru grabs himself another kill.
Yeah.
Yuzent.
Very good play by Sorolu there, by the way. Double Poppycopter knocks away the 2 threats, leaves the support all on their own, and Yuzent just kind of has to accept that he's been left up the proverbial without a paddle there.
Yes, very much so. And so now, yeah, with the maiden out as well, yeah, all of a sudden, look, things looking really good for Cade here. And for Loud, I mean, like you said, it's a competition that had to win early. So it's like, again, you're not completely hosed. You are still ahead somehow here, as Shino, like you said, just kind of got that early gold lead out of nothing. But this 1,000 gold lead, it feels like it doesn't feel like it matters.
The gold lead is Gino, no, and Gino has yet to turn up to the fight and make it really work. So I think for Loud, it's Operation Adapt. You've tried to put, I don't know if you've tried to put gold into Bull, to be honest, but Bull's tried to put gold into Bull, and it's failed.
Bull really has. He really
has. So I think from here, it's changed the plan. It's put Gino on split push duty, play for the 1v2, and then see a 3-0, hopefully, through that facet, because the Yorick can't particularly contain a Gnar, right? The Yorick puts the cage down, and the Gnar hops out of it. Oh, hold on. Return play.
Envy, able to flash.
Yeah.
Away, so ult down for Miru, but we back up hopefully by next one. Well, we won't be back up by the dragon, that's for sure.
No, it won't. That's going to be soul point for Loud if they can get it, which I think they really need to.
Yeah, you got to get something going.
Again, can't stress enough how much this composition is gated by time. So let's see it.
Culling goes out. Yuzent able to actually, to be fair, mitigate a decent chunk of that with a cozy campfire. Bull didn't even pop the barrier either. It's Bull. He's got to be the one that he needs a way into this one. That is just simply a lot of damage to be taking right there. Youngjae able to flash forward with the pillar. Bull's going to get hit by the tidal wave. It is Operation Keep Bull alive right now, but that is a lot expended on both sides, to be fair, for no kills achieved. Dragon up in 5 seconds now. You've got your jungler. You've got a shot here, Youngjae. Wiser. And that is the matchup in full force that you were talking about.
That's what they want, yeah. So, Miryu's just killed, dove Envy down on the bot side. So that's pretty decent. And now Loud in the mid lane, using this Milio range to try and get a little bit of access. But, I mean, they can't go to this dragon. They have no mid laner now. So Loud kind of have to play volatile around this 3 versus 3 and hope that Miryu doesn't do anything about it.
I was going to say this one might be cooked. Double flash in the top lane. One more auto should do it. Maybe 2 for Shino. He will survive. Gets Mega at the perfect time. And now the TP coming in from Miru. The raid boss has arrived. And now he's going to make it Loud's problem. Bull immediately flashes out of trouble. Youngjae, actually, I think he'll be able to outrun him. Yeah, and with the Blast Cone, that'll certainly help out with the Chemtech Rift up and running. Now that top lane.
Now Draven, no flash.
Yep.
And that's such a big cooldown for him as well.
Yeah. Well, he won't be able to flash forward and die, so that's a
can't flash out and live.
Also true.
Oh, it's going to be so brutal. But it's the Drake started by Sorolu as Youngjae that's still desperately looking to pick up Seo or pick up something for Bull here.
Seo is low. Kaiwing able to heal him back up. All right, no heal cut purchased by either team. Nope, Kaiwing has one in his bag. Apologies, that was the last one I checked before I uttered that sentence. Youngjae, he's just getting ripped through, man. He has no MR, and Miru is just ripping through his health bar right now. Looks like we are going to get a fight of some kind here. Yorick joining the party a little bit late. He's got his maiden, but no, we will not get a fight. Yeah, Loud in no position to contest this one.
And again, this is now when you start to be a little bit concerned as Loud. You have got win conditions. need to state this. Gino can win you the game on side if you don't collapse everywhere else. And in fairness, Loud have done a really good job at sort of stabilizing what's going on in the mid lane. It just looks a bit weird because they're trying so hard to get Bull in play.
Yeah.
And it's just not working. So it doesn't look great what Loud are doing, but the fact that they've got at least one area of stability does mean that the entire map's not crumbling around Gino, which is all they need here. If they can use Gino to find gold, get ahead, keep staying ahead even, and solo kill Wiser on repeat, that's the aim here. That's how they have to win this game, because 5 versus 5s should be Miru's domain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, the who kills Miru question, right? Do you kill him in? Do you have any hope for them to kill him in a straight up 5v5?
I sure hope so. Because they need this victor to die. And 6-1-0, 7 or literally 6 out of 7 kills for his team, doing better than the entirety of Loud put together, or equal to, I suppose.
Yeah.
And this tier 1 turret is still like very healthy here as well, despite all of the pressure that Loud have put into it. BKS has done a good job at holding that wave and making sure that the turret itself remains quite healthy.
A lot of not able to break open the map. I mean, they've got the top lane tier 1 and tier 2, bottom lane they've able to knock down a tower. Still 3 minutes until that dragon, so that's not high on the priority list, but want to get something done. Miru on the top side.
Oh, Envy's here as well.
Envy is here, and Miru's got no TP, so he's gonna take the scenic route here. Loud thinking they've got a window here, trying to jump forward. CO is taken very, very low, but he will survive. Keeper's Verdict gonna knock Young Jay out of the fight. Shino and Wise are doing battle in the top lane. Ultimates traded on both sides. Yeah, that feels bad. You found a mirrorless window and you were not able to jump through it.
And that's where that Draven flash really comes home to bite him. If you had flash, would have been able to flash on Seo, and we'll see whether or not they get the kill. And now if Gino dies on the side lane as well, that is
disaster.
Bad to worse. Sorolu bucking it down here. He's got the blue smite ready to go, so he's going to be popping through at some rate of knots.
Yeah, he should be able to kill him here. Well, I say that.
Once the Poppy's used her E, she's incredibly slow, especially with using the auto as well. The Gnar can just kite that out quite easily. So I respect that Sorolu needed to get away from that, especially down 4 levels as well. And the Gnar lives to fight another day, which is nice. The Lucian lives again, and Bull still remains with no cash in.
Yeah, crucially, this thing that we were hoping to find by level, 2, 3, or 4.
6, yeah.
Yeah, 6 at the minimum, right? Bull. He's going to eat everything here. But he will survive.
2v2 on the bot side.
Oh, yeah, Sorolu. Not going to be, he should. Wow, he might survive this just yet. Young Jay, if he can get a pillar down, he's just going to flash over and do it the old-fashioned way. Takes a bite out of him. Now Young Jay, he will not get the chase onto him. Going to take some lean protein on the way out. As Miru gets Nard on, and where's the follow-up damage? Envy able to 100-0 him potentially here. Stopwatch goes out. Tidal Wave out as well. A lot of healing onto Miru. Man, he stays alive by the skin of his teeth. Young Jay's on the other side of the fight. Wiser taking incredibly low. CO going to pop out the culling to take Bull out of this fight. He's still looking for that cash in. Cade caught unawares. I mean, what a play by Loud to just snap into action like that, but not able to finish the job.
Yeah, Miru getting very greedy there. It had stasis, had flash for a large portion of that, and took quite a lot of damage before using either one of them. Does get out to safety, and I mean, Kaiwing on this Nami is doing so much work for the team. The Echoes of Hellier in the back pocket as well. So this is going to be a fight on 2 fronts to begin with. Miru steps forward and actually unleashes onto Bull to begin with. The fact that he's able to get away, quite important. As down on the bot side of this fight is where it looks pretty darn dire for VKS. Sorolu gets drained by the Subjugate and by the Black Cleaver as well, so really can't stand up to the might of VK, to the rest of Loud, excuse me. We cut away from where Miru played like a little bit of a sociopath or psychopath rather, and found himself in a bit of danger, but did live and has Kaiwing to thank for that.
Yeah, he's been doing a ton, like you said, man. I mean, just a monstrous effort on this Nami. If he's not there, I mean, it just gets so tricky. Miru's
it's Nami or Soraka. Soraka's maybe the only other pick that could have done what Kaiwing has done for the team this game.
100%, just a straight up heal bot. Like, this is your role. But Nami, obviously, with the CC that she has in her kit, can provide so much more. Clear out the vision on the top side here. Now, after all that, the Dragon is up here. Would be soul point for either of these teams.
Why is this going to solo it?
The Chemtech Dragon, yeah, or Weiser just solos it, actually.
So it's going to be soul point for VKS. Can TP in or can't TP in even if he needs to. But who's going to answer Gino on the top side? Looks like Miryu going to be the one designated for it. They can't stop they do stop the recall. So now that should just be tier 3. But what do they lose? Bull!
Oh my goodness, he's taken so low. The tidal wave won't find him either. But everyone using concerned with Bull. So now Envy shows up and the fight is just scattered. Young Jay is on the business. Bull got a kill. We're back. We are so back. Laudetus faz ele imediatamente. Shido gets in with a big Nard. Where's the follow-up damage? Envy goes forward. Cerolo knocks him immediately out of the fight. Yuza taken very low as well. Bull, not enough HP to be competitive, but Shino able to get back into the fight. Weiser has shown up now. Yuza does go down. So Portal Combat claims another victim. Shino, not able to have the impact that he wanted. It looked like such a big ultimate. But Bull got the cash out. Will that be enough to slingshot Loud into something of a more respectable position?
What does he go back and buy? I mean, I think he's waiting on Infinity Edge, so we'll see. How much does he get out of that? Like, the cash-in must have been about 1,000 gold. He was sat about 400 stacks last time I saw. So kill gold plus all the stacks, probably a 1k gold kill for him. Probably going to get a replay of how much gold. We love this.
Yes.
In the LoL community, how much gold does Draven get on his kill? But the thing with Draven stacks and with his ulti, his execute is equal to the amount of stacks that he has. So if you have 500 stacks, you just one-shot people with 500 health, and it looks like that was more than a regular Draven damage. However, they overcommit here, Loud. A really good Poppycopter once again from Cerolo. We're back to live because Young Jay now in trouble.
He's in some trouble. Tidal Wave coming out, and Shino is just toast.
That's Baron.
One goes
surely
down. Yeah, that's Baron. I mean, Shino was your biggest threat as far as just the raw damage that he can output. There is nothing that Loud can do off this one. And they lost that Dragon earlier, Roodood. What a mid-game swing. What a last couple minutes for Cade.
And again, we highlighted this, that Loud needed to do something.
Yep.
And unfortunately, they weren't able to.
No, and they had been so good at doing something, anything in the first couple of games. We literally talked about that. They're just staying active. They're just forcing Cade into positions that they don't have agency in, and that had been enough to win them the first couple of games. Not as much here, just because they haven't been able to, like you said. And now Cade might have another couple of victims on their docket. Cerolo, now to look at the Poppycopter down to maximum effect. Miru is on the top side, just wailing away on that tier 3 Roodood.
Yeah, just chase. Stop the recalls, and you're going to get an inhibitor at the worst case, and now Cerolo might fall.
Might not. Young Jay, CEO, I mean, just hiring right through him.
Okay.
Now they get that
keep
in
going.
him,
Miryu,
like
keep going.
Saying.
Okay, never mind. Gino's up. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's fine. They're not probably just absolutely one-taps the victor with the wit's end at this stage, but it's a game of ebbs and flows here. That game of momentum that both these teams have been playing. Loud spent a good amount of time trying to find tier 2 turrets whilst the inhibitor went down on their top side and whilst VKS took the Baron as well. So Loud eking out what they could from the situation, but now Bull with that Infinity Edge does do a marked amount of damage. Going to be critting on pretty much every single auto. 10% of the time he will not. But there's a Nami in the back pocket.
Yeah.
That's just buffing up anything that Sayo looks to go for. Every time he goes forward, he gets 200, 300 HP back. And it's all Miryu again. Look at him down on the bot side, free firing away on these turrets.
Yeah.
12 stacks on a Medjai's, working towards a death cap as well.
He has gotten into raid boss territory. He is so strong. 4 items here. As he disappears, maybe there's a window that Loud can punish. Bull going to eat another culling here. Shino's got the GA on top of that wit's end that you pointed out, Roodood. And now Weiser, he's doing his thing up on the top side. And with a Nami, with a Nami and a Baron up wave, I like these lane assignments, right? With Miru kind of, you know, he's gotten back finally. He got the TP back. But Nami's just going to keep you alive forever and ever.
I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose everything here. Bull's going back to base to get his resources back. Miryu Qs on a minion, auto-attacks the turret, does an insane amount of damage to it, but they can't get access to that ranged creep. Why is they going to be doing the same thing in the mid lane, and VKS just have to play this slowly?
Ooh. Bull gonna get a chunk taken out of him. He's gonna eat the storm on the back end as well. Poppycopter out. Bull just eating everything with the cozy campfire in tow. It keeps him alive. But VKS get absolutely what they bargained for. They get a tower. They get an inhibitor. They might get a second inhibitor here. I think they will if Weiser should. Yeah, with that cannon minion. they just rip Loud's base into tatters right now.
The game now plays itself for VKS. This should be an extension of the series. They've got 3 inhibitors down. They're going to get Soul in 30 seconds' time because of the overwhelming pressure of the super minions. 2 super minions across 3 waves pouring into the base. And the wave clear for Loud is non-existent here. It's LeBlanc and Draven trying to clear waves, which doesn't go well in case you're not familiar. So VKS just need to play the numbers. Play it slow, get the Soul, let's walk our way down into their base and let the minions do the hard work. We've just got to sit there and poke with Lucian calling, poke with lasers, and we'll be absolutely fine.
4,000 gold lead for Miru. This is the game that we were waiting for. This was the kind of performance that we were waiting for. Just put Envy in the bin from kind of second one. They're going to get themselves their Chemtech Soul here. And like you said, Roodood, the game feels like it just kind of plays itself right now.
How does a LeBlanc deal with double super minions, right? Like, it's not a champion that is geared to this in any way. Yeah, you can deal with a normal wave with distortion, but you know, these super creeps just a completely different beast, and it's taking so much effort from Loud just to take down one of them. That with 6 pouring into the base, you have to imagine that that's going to be a completely different story.
The final stand for Loud potentially is Cade trying to wrest momentum back in this series. With a win here, they would keep it alive. With a loss, somehow they would get dumped down into the loser's bracket. CEO
taking down these turrets as well.
Yep, on that top tower. Rips the culling one more time. The storm out as well, trying to buy more space. Look at that wave on the top side. There is no way Loud able to fight through this unless Roodood does go down with the help of the pop from LeBlanc's damage. Use that, able to get that kill. Shino coming back with the GA. They can just get one on the Nexus. That might be enough, but Young Jay's being a nuisance in the back end. Wiser tries to get onto the Nexus. Young Jay does go down. Finally, Cade get purchased onto this fight. The rest of Loud can't do anything. Just focus on the Nexus or just let the minions do it. Look, it looks like we're playing StarCraft here, Roodood.
And that is it. We extend the series 2-1. VKS, they bide their time. They're able to get through the early game drought that they are looking for. And Loud, I think, kind of throwing away a game that they should have been able to get. This doesn't fill me with confidence here, 4x4, but it gives us another hour. It gives us another game for us to look at. And VKS pick themselves up another game win. It's, yeah, not convincing in any way for either side, to be honest. But Loud, with a few blunders there, give VKS a window.
Yeah, they look, they left the door open and VKS walked through it, which I did not have a ton of confidence they would be able to. But in this series, they looked much more composed. And their big players came to play as well, right? Miru showing up with that huge Victor game, obviously. But in the bottom lane, putting Bull in the dirt early. Obviously, that was a very risky pick, right? This is a hands check game in game 3. Up 2-0, like we said in draft, that it didn't work out. Credit to Cade. They didn't buckle, and they got that early lead, and they kept on going with it. So with that, we're going to take it to a quick break. When we come back, game 4, Loud now on the back foot for the first time this series after beating Cade for 4 straight games going back to last week. They are now, they don't have the momentum in their favor for the first time in a long time. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being here. I am 4x4. That is Roodood. Got it right this time. We're about to get into draft here. I'm going to get first pick. Cade will take blue side. Loud up 2-1 here, and Roodood, this was I thought we were headed for a swift 3-0, man. Cade looked absolutely hopeless. They look just completely down and out. But now, it certainly looks a lot better. I mean, Loud, this was a much needed performance from Cade. But again, we talk about self-inflicted wounds and a bit of some draft oopsies. We cannot absolve Loud here either. That was a very high risk draft.
It was. We kind of knew that if that game was not won in the first 15 minutes, that it wasn't going to ever be won. And, I don't like to call it like that on broadcast and just go, well, they lost the second dragon, so the game's over, or whatever it ended up being. But they lost like third Drake, and I was like, well, that's probably El Jovismo, like nothing's happening.
That's a new one.
Is that not common parlance for you guys? Sorry.
You know what? No. And I consider myself an unfortunately pretty chronically online person, but that has not even reached me. So
I did just make it up in fairness. So.
Okay.
But you know what it meant.
No, I completely understood.
Yeah.
You're right. You know what?
Exactly.
You're right. So was it a nonsense after all? If I knew exactly what you were saying, the answer is no. Into draft we go. Like we said, Loud will get first pick, but Cade are going to take blue side. Yeah, we still haven't seen some of these kind of high-powered, these kind of, really power picks here. I love that, by the way, whatever's going on there, that little spreadsheet they've got going there. But I don't think we will, Roodood, because, Game 5 still has bans, right? I haven't seen a Game 5 Fearless in a minute.
Yes. Yeah. Game 5 does still have bans.
Okay. I know some formats
so that's
didn't, or like maybe.
Yeah, you were right. We used to have like blind pick for the first little bit of time, but no, Game 5s are still full bonkers, full wild, so good stuff on that sense, I suppose. I'm excited.
This is our first Game 4 of this split, so we are getting into
of the year. Not year.
No, we had.
I dare say there was a Game 4 in there. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not everything was a 3-0, so you're right.
But now we're getting into the dregs here. So this is where the fun starts. But also, we still have some picks that are, still going to be available because the drafts have taken some twists and turns, right? I mean, through 3 games, I did not expect to see Yorick. I did not expect to see LeBlanc. Certainly didn't expect to see freaking Draven. But here we are. So still have some picks that are going to be up and available. But with a lot of these bans, Roodood, right, especially with what Loud have banned, they're kind of targeting two champions, if you will, right? With the Lulu taken away, Yunara maybe not going to be as priority, but the Nefiri will be locked in here for Young Jay, maybe Shino, but with the Varus banned away, I guess that's what you were. Well, no, that makes sense. But either way, Young Jay's going to be on another Young Jay type champion, and Sorola's going to grab himself the Skarner. So I think both junglers kind of returning to type.
And that's fine. I think that obviously we highlighted that there were some strange picks that came out in Game 3. Which means that we've got a little bit more normality ready for Game 4. You know what I mean? Like that.
A reset here in Game 4.
That checks out. Exactly. We've got the opportunity for normal things to happen again, which is always nice.
Now, are we going to take that opportunity? That is the second question. And so far, kind of, right? Like these are picks that you'd see situationally, right? This does feel very Game 4 coded, right? Like, I've seen it before, but woo.
Yeah, I've been here in this position. Do I enjoy it? That's a different question, which we'll answer as and when. But we need to take a look at what it is that the rest of the picks can look like. Obviously, with the Nico being picked up here, it's engage for VKS. It's go forward. It's a lot of playmaking potential for Kaiwing as well, which is always really good to see because I feel like he very frequently can be that player on the map to make the important thing happen. So hopefully that ends up going through once again. It's the Bard in response for Uzents, who I think that pick rather, has been banned away consistently throughout this entire series, but the fact that it's now let through gives Uzents an opportunity to do some pretty nasty stuff if he gets the opportunity to play out on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. Bard on the other side, or Nico on the other side, I should say. Yeah, both these champions really, really impactful, and Bull will be on the Jhin. So a couple of games where, again, he's going to have a lot on his shoulders to be able to carry this Loud composition forward. I think it's a little more mitigated by the fact that you've got a Nefiri, you've got kind of a secondary AD threat, but we'll see how the build shakes out with a starter, right? You go a bit more of a bruiser Nefiri route, depending on what the rest of the draft is for Loud. You just go straight up assassin onto a mid laner, potentially AD carry target, and that AD carry target will be the Sivir for CO.
I mean, versus the Jhin as well, feels pretty good. Pretty telegraphed when any spells are coming your way, so the spell shield really easy to get value from. Also keeps you safe from the Bard ulti as well. Obviously, that's a lot of stuff to try and spell shield, so maybe that isn't going to be the leading cause for their way to succeed here. Solo lane is yet to be picked up, and again, we're hitting the limitations of certain champion pools here as well. So maybe get to see some of that slightly more off the wall type picks. We might have to resort back to slightly older metas, things like the Twisted Fate that got banned away. The Aurora is still open, and I think that's a really highly prioritized, or should be a really highly prioritized pick here for VKS, as they've got first chance at a mid laner.
Volibear taken away. Does that Volibear ban scream anything to you?
It should do. Currently, it doesn't.
Okay, that's okay.
Ambessa maybe, but not. I mean, this is... What is Vayne suggesting? You know what? There's a very real possibility that if I played top lane, I'd know what this was for.
Maybe these are just
Unfortunately, I'm just not there.
I could see
Could just be that.
Yeah, like Shino, he has found some success on the Vayne, and I think, I'm not sure if I'm making this up or whether I saw it in CD where Shino was playing the Volibear. Volibear obviously just kind of, he kind of peeks his head in the meta every now and again and then says, "Oh, my bad, sorry, wasn't supposed to be here. My bad, Dusk and Dawn is nerfed. Goodbye. I'll go back to solo queue, where is the only place I live." Miru not going to have the Akali either. Well, your hunch might have been right, Roodood. We do have an Ambessa hover and an Ambessa lock-in, indeed. Yeah. So I think we were both right. Well, that's what I'll say.
Man, I'll take that. I was under a little bit of an impression there with the Ambessa, and I'll take the fact that I was right, which is always good news. But anyway. What is it that's going to be answered with? The Renekton ban earlier on means that this is a really easy pick here for the... or a really easy pickup for VKS and for Wiser in particular. The Rek'Sai coming through as the answer on that top side. Definitely a pick that we've not seen for a good long time. But the fact that the Aurora went unbanned, like I mentioned, being really highly prized. I'm surprised that VKS didn't go for this earlier. Good to see that Envy takes it here, but now it sort of suggests that VKS must have had an answer to this. And with the amount of going forward that they've got, I'm looking at things like Lysandra. I'm looking at dive-style champions that can target the backline and target maybe this Aurora, maybe this Neferi as well.
An interesting buffet of ults to choose from if they do pick the Sylas. Syndra does allow you to, you can kind of play backwards on the Syndra, right? You don't need to be the primary damage threat with the amount of damage you've got coming in from the Sivir and the Ambessa, right? You can knock away a target. I don't hate the Ambessa, do you? Or the Syndra.
No, I don't mind this whatsoever. I think that it's a really good lane in particular, which is maybe why they've gone for it more so than anything else. But if you can use that to bully Envy here, then that could be a really good route to success. If that ends up then that you're in a bit of a if it ends up that that's a problem and you can't bully Envy, then we've got a little bit of a problem, which is obviously not ideal. So we'll keep our eyes out and we'll see whether or not this is actually something that can work in the long run for them, or if this is going to be a pretty big disaster and then you end up with a VKS 2-2, or rather the Loud taking the 3-1 even.
Yeah, solid drafts from both sides. I was trying to kind of pick holes in them. Like I don't hate. You've always got the Jhin of it all hanging over this Loud composition, but. Look, in a lane like with the Bard, right? That's a strong enough lane to play out. It's a little more passive lane with the Sivir. I don't know. Do you think that? Do you have any strong thoughts on how that bottom lane could go? Is the Jhin Bard just is it something I don't know about?
No. Sivir doesn't particularly cook any lane. You just push the waves. Crack on with your life, And I don't know that having a Nico by your side makes it even more prevalent down on that bot side. It is definitely like two picks that function in isolation and that have some sort of nice crossover, but nothing that's astronomically more important than the other.
All right, Loud looking to take it, 3-1 fashion. Miru showed up when it counted with the backs against the wall, but does he have another one in him, or we see another hero step up for this VKS squad? Sorolu seems like he's on a bit more of a style of jungler that he's a little more comfortable with, and he's got a lot of lanes to play to be fair, right? Like you said, Miru's got a good lane into this Aurora matchup. Weiser can take over a game on this Ambessa. She can be such an obnoxious champion. The ult did get nerfed. I got something to call out with the Ambessa. It doesn't come out quite as quickly, so it gives you opportunities to dodge it. Yuzen taken pretty low here. Kaiwing and Seo getting the better of that trade. Not by a ton. Heal and barrier popped on the blue side, but on the red side, just the heal pop there. And of course, if you get into the late game, to finish up my original thoughts, Seo into a lot of these targets. You got a long-range ADC, and you've got an Aurora that can be kind of shifty, so you don't get a ton, like maximum value out of the Boomerang Blade and kind of a clumped up set of enemies, but it's still a Sivir. It's still, it's still the premier hyper carry in the late game.
I mean, it's about how easily the Sivir can auto attack, and frequently her biggest pitfall is that she can't get any autos down. But I think this game should be easy enough with a Rek'Sai in it. Looking in the jungle right now, Youngjae is making Sorolu's life miserable. Looks like they were able to. Sorolu was able to secure probably his blue, got pushed off of his wolves, and Youngjae stole the better part of them and will steal the Gromp out as well. Kaiwing.
Oh, he might just be giving his key team a lead here. Bull had to flash away. Seo still got his flash crucially. So advantage over to the lane that famously does not cook anybody. Yeah, Bull just a little too far forward. Kaiwing doing Nico things.
It's a good flash. Means that there's a relatively high chance that Sorolu can make some presence felt down on this bot side again as Youngjae comes in, going to bully Mirio a little bit. He's only level 2 on the Neferi, so doesn't have the immunity necessarily, but will quite easily get his way in, put a little bit of pressure down, and that's about it.
That's about all you can hope for, I suppose. On the top side, I think Shino has played this Rek'Sai before. I feel like I've seen it as an answer into Ambessa, but I might be mixing up my matchups here.
Yeah. I think it's possible to take this into Ambessa. I don't know that it's like the amazing goated counter pick, but it's probably just... It's probably a good enough response that we think, okay, it's not going to go crazy in the early stages, and that's really all that we're after. And it's a good time to mention as well, as I saw the word reverse down on the little comments there, so I'm assuming that this is important for this, but Loud, the only team to ever be involved in reverse sweeps currently.
This is true, yes. They were reverse swept by Pain Gaming back in 2021. Pain rode that all the way to a title. Very different roster at that time. Well, actually, maybe not so different to the roster that was supposed to happen this year. It was Robo Karaoke Tinones. That was the original roster in 2026. But BRTT and Lucy in the bottom lane. Titan and Kuri, the intended one, obviously this year. But yeah, Loud. Yeah, that was the comment was Loud's not going to get reverse swept, are they? But obviously, yeah, calling back to, like you said, is a team that has some priors with this.
A time where they, in fact, did get reverse swept, and that was not what they were after.
And that was so bad for Loud that they literally said, I don't like our mid laner, Dinketo. I want Tinones, and I want that top laner as well. And they just blew up their roster and said, nope, we are keeping Seos, and that is it. Everybody else, get the hell out of here.
And you know what? At a certain point, fair play.
Yeah, they won 4 titles off the back of that. It worked out all right for them.
Yeah, they didn't do awfully. It wasn't the worst thing that they'd ever done in the world. No. We're seeing some good trades down on this bot side, and Loud, obviously, I think somewhat surprisingly as well, sort of returned to form very recently, in fact. Maybe not what we were expecting, but did end up finding themselves with a title in the CBLOL Cup, which again, not quite what we were anticipating for this roster.
Yeah, it is, again, not officially a CBLOL title, but it is still a title in the CBLOL. So, yeah, not at all what we were expecting with this roster. And I mean, remember, we had a different mid laner, and a different support when this thing started. Mago was the mid laner, and now he's somewhere. I actually don't know where he is. Loud doesn't have an academy team, so they didn't send him down there. But Envy has taken over and just played with, I mean, look, Unk still got it. I think that's what what the conclusion was. Kaiwing maybe in a little bit of trouble here. The Deadly Flourish lands, very nicely done. First blood over to Youngjae on the Neferi.
Love to see it. Love to see it there. Really nice stuff. And now an all-in from Envy. Knows he's got that level up time. And Miryu very close to level 6, but isn't quite going to be able to ding it in time to punish Envy.
Oof, but not by much. I mean, that was really close there, obviously, and can... With that all-in damage, that is a lot from the Syndra. Gonna get another look at this one. Yeah, just caught up a little too far forward. Once they kind of crested going around that curve. Wow. Taking on a magical journey, and Bull did his thing. He hit the W. You did your job. Mr. Helpful.
Mr. Helpful, that's what we love to see. Again, this is the power that you get, and we talk about Bull on Jhin quite frequently. He's been a big proponent of taking the Jhin more than anything, more than majority of others, especially through Split 1. Was expecting to see a different player, as Weiser does miss out there on the public execution. That's the difference. That's that nerf coming in.
Yeah, just Shino very easily able to sidestep that one. Sorolu coming in hot with the Ishtal's impact. Got to get a flash out of Shino, and I think that is more than all right.
All right. I mean, that's job done right there. Kaiwing, are you in trouble? No, good face check. Well played.
Yep, very nice use of the clone there. You found a Young Jay and a Yuzent.
2-for-1 special. As again, looking at what this game feels like as we get later on into it, you already did a good job at highlighting this. If we get later, Siver's going to Siver, and it's got the front line to be able to do it as well. But Loud, starting this Drake up, should be looking to get themselves on the board in that neutral department or neutral objectives department. And one Dragon nice and early going to be a very good boost for them.
Dragon number 1 secured. Loud ahead in this one. And again, the kill going to who else? Young Jay. In the games that, I mean, well, even in the game they lost, to be fair, it was kind of the Young Jay show. And eventually the lead got up to Shino on the Gnar, but not able to translate it. Miru went too monstrous with his Victor performance. But Young Jay now, yeah, he's got the Brutalizer in tow. It's a lot more difficult. He's got Sorolu to deal with, but look, if you're Young Jay, you're just going to be an assassin. You have ways to get in the backline, right? You got the immunity, you got the gap closer. I don't think he's worried about Sorolu.
No, he's not. And if he is, that's a problem. So we'll see if that can be addressed or not as we move a little bit later through this one. But for the time being, at least, I wanted to highlight the fact that despite the early intrigue from Young Jay, Sorolu actually done a pretty good job at neutralizing that. Yes, he's down 450 gold. That's his bot lane's fault, not his. Relatively even on the CS, even on experience, was actually the first one to ding level 6. But Young Jay has spent a lot of time securing these neutral objectives, so he's sacrificing himself for the greater good of the team, which is the Skarner playstyle, not the Neferi one, but the two players have swapped their styles.
Yeah, a little bit. As Grub number 1 secured up top by Loud Young Jay. Shino playing with absolute safety, knowing that his jungler is waiting in the wings. Dragon not going to be up for another 3.5 minutes. First one also went over to Loud. So again, just the jungle masterclass being put on here by Young Jay while he has found time to care for his babies in the bottom lane.
Ooh, curtain call here. Might find one, but it's mid lane that we're focusing on. Miryu forced to flash away.
Curtain call going out. Just Sorolu standing right
recalling
in front of Mr. User, or Mr. Kaiwing, I should say.
I know you were going to say Mr. Useful, but Mr. Uzen also has a really good ring to it.
It does. It does.
It makes me wish that he was an AD carry player and we could get to say Mr. Uzen's playing Mr. Useful.
Yeah, me too. But alas, that is not the world we live in. Yeah,
such is not the world.
No. I don't even know what Uzent is supposed to, like, mean, because so often, I mean, you see, like, I don't know, like, yeah, I just don't know. I tried to, like, and I guess Sorolu.
Let's see.
I don't know, right? Even Tatu, that just means armadillo in Portuguese, right? Like,
oh.
So.
I searched Uzent and it's all Uzent specifically. So
yeah.
It's not a word.
Yeah.
And it's I don't think a thing. Maybe Zent is something and the U is something else, you know?
Yeah, but yeah, if anyone knows the lore behind the origin of his name, drop it in the chat or
Yeah, please do.
I am curious. Young Jay sticking around here on this bottom lane, just kind of babysitting Bull while Uzent gets back from his misadventures up on the other side of the map.
He's also trying to discover the origin of his name. Somewhere
he's
up
trying
there.
to go find it.
Yeah, he's just on a wander. Somewhere soon. It'll work out. But for the Bard as well, good to see that out on the map. Good to see that it's getting active. Is now level 6, so we're expecting some of those plays to come through. And it's again just Kaiwing acting like a big beefy boy on the Skarner when really it's a little Nico who's got like 1200 HP. So yeah.
Yeah, he's Saru's got that protoplasm going. CC chain comes in, the root comes out, and Young Jay having to burn the immunity and the flash, and he's just toast.
All right.
Miru come away with the kill as the Impale helps seal the deal for Cade.
Oh, and a Cyclo Sword for Young Jay as well. So full glass cannon gets blown up. Really good usage there of the W. Gets him out to safety of the unleashed power. However, there is then a fully channeled Impale. There we go. That's the Skarner ulti. I don't know if it still is, actually. They might have changed it when they reworked him. But a fully channeled Skarner ulti ready there to keep him locked up and loaded. And I was going to say it's a cardinal sin from Miru there to fire the unleashed power into the Neferi. But there's fortunately enough a nice little Skarner who's going to make it pay instead.
Now this game tied 1-1. Yeah, a lot less action in this one than we had in the first couple of games. That's for dang sure. As now the cat of the week does land on the user, able to flash away, get the tempered fade out. A lot going on. Young Jay gets forward. Holds on to his ult for now. The Between Two Worlds pop there by Miru, or by Envy, I should say. Burden call out. Sorolu gonna need a couple of those. Well, actually, every single one of those.
It's all of them. Yeah.
After all that, nothing doing.
That is why we call him Mr. Useful.
I'm gonna dump
I think the actual
into
reason, is because of the W. The W is pretty chill. But it was good to see that the protoplasm has got a good amount of value already in this game. Really nice amount of health that the Skarner is able to pick up at this early stage. It's not easy to cut through sort of 2k HP on a tank who's also, got grasp of the Undying. I want to say as a jungler, that's pretty atypical because you're not frequently fighting with people, and the grasp relies on you constantly fighting to stack up max HP. But that's where Sorolu finds himself with that one locked and loaded, ready to go.
Yeah, it just feels like an aftershock angle, but hey, what do I know? I suppose. Like you said, the going back to the Voltaic Cyclo Sword, right? That is a full glass cannon build for Young Jay, so he saw things the same way we did, which is my job to get back there and make CEO's life miserable. It's to make him and Miru have to think twice about every step they take forward. And with Shino coming in over the top, Envy as well, being able to bounce around everywhere, potentially get a slow down onto Miru or CEO, right? Get through that spell shield. I think that's another big one, right? For CEO, how do I clip that away to allow Young Jay to be the carry thread, to actually make good on this game where he might be the main character in this one, where beforehand it was like, okay, you got those 4 kills or those 5 kills early, and then in games 1 and 2, he transferred that lead over to his laners. He made things about them. He was the bridge to get to that late game. This game, he might be the whole show.
You might well. And I think that, we talked about CEO there. He's been quite quiet for me in this series, not particularly relevant in their one-game victory. And, I think that VKS made this change. The bot lane looked really solid to start off the split, but in this one, CEO has just kind of fallen by the wayside, not particularly had the good showing that I think that a lot of the VKS fans would have hoped for.
No, I think that is a fair statement. And as the fight breaks out here, Young Jay able to get in. There's a Pop Blossom on a Kai Wing, but with the Tingle Barbs going out, not able to do anything really. CEO can't do much when he's just getting run down. Another kill for Young Jay. He grabs number 2, but Loud with that, able to grab themselves the Dragon as well. Another Jungle Kingdom being put on here, man. More CS, more kill participation, more neutral objectives. That's the Young Jay experience.
He's doing very, very well. And this is, again, akin to what happened to Loud in the CBLOL Cup, where for the start of the season, they were just on completely different wavelengths. But this time out, it's been, we get into playoffs, we get into the back half of the season, Young Jay steps up, the whole team rally behind him in an appropriate way. They start finding success. I for the life of you, can't tell you what's happened top lane. I don't know how Shino has once again already found the turret, but that's another random lead that we shouldn't have known to happen. As we get to see this fight here, and it feels like VKS just aren't really doing anything. They're sitting back, they're watching themselves get engaged on. CEO is late to the party, which I think is the leading reason why VKS didn't want to do anything there. They knew they didn't have their marksman, so they were just sort of sat back waiting for things to happen to them. And ultimately, when you get engaged on like that and you don't put any sort of rebuttal in place, you are going to fall quite quickly.
Yeah. It is a early game Sivir, but it's still a Sivir, man. You still do a lot of damage. Like you said, if you could just auto attack, your life gets a lot easier, man. You are doing your job. Especially in these fights that are a little more chaotic, right? There's a little less room to play with. You're going to get value out of your boomerang blade. Sorolu trying to go forward here onto Young Jay will not find the dogs, and the Impale doesn't find anything either. That feels bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? You get one.
Yep, everybody gets
one. So you've used it in 15 minutes into the game. Honestly, better than using it 40 minutes into the game when it literally decides the match. So we'll take the very, very small arbitrary win that we've granted VKS where they come.
Yeah,
as now Sorolu again continuously looking forward.
Yeah, and hey, look, that's how you got to operate, man. The game is getting away from you. As long as everyone's on the same page, I think that's maybe the one thing. If you're, we're zooming out here, and another neutral objective taken by Young Jay, by the way, 4 for 0.
Ooh.
4 to 0, I should say.
Envy just dancing.
Yeah, Envy. He is hop, skipping, and jumping out of trouble? Question mark. If that Q lands from Miru, maybe. No. All right. Will not be sufficient.
I don't know how he got out of there. I'm going to be honest. Like, that looks like it would have been... That should have been dead.
Yeah.
Instead, was not dead and was live instead. So, incredible behavior, really. But down on that bot side, Gino did a really smart thing. It was really small, but he sort of pushed the wave in, used his time to go up to the top side. He's the reason that Herald was secured so easily. He's able to walk up, secure that, then TP down to the bot side and catch the wave, effectively loses nothing, uses his TP to secure his team the objective, and then goes back down to that bot side, continues to bully, harass Wiser. Lost a little bit of his experience lead, but he's doing absolutely fine in that 1v1, and you can see he just consistently walks up, takes a chunk out of the turret, and burrows away.
That is the experience. Most certainly. Shino, able to get something done on the bottom side here. He's just bossing. Wiser right now, just having his way in this lane.
All right, maybe it is the counter. Maybe it's not just a neutralizer. Maybe Gino knows the source. I mean, he's down 6 farm, which I think in the grand scale of things, when you're up 1,000 gold and have taken 2 turrets in the face of your laning opponent, it's not that big a deal.
No, not quite. Tomorrow is going to be Los versus VKS, or Los versus Fluxu, guys. Just, we knew that, of course, but just wanted to let you guys know.
Yeah, we're familiar with the schedule.
Yeah. To be fair, someone in the chat earlier, I was kind of, as I popped open the stream on my other monitor, I did see, like, wait a minute. Someone was like, wait a minute, wasn't it supposed to be Los Fluxu today? So that makes me feel
Clearly
better.
They weren't aware. Obviously, we knew this, and we're consummate professionals. So we just have to make that chatter feel bad, I guess. 4x4. No idea why you would do that.
Yeah, my bad.
Nudge, hint, hint, wink, wink.
Got bored.
Yeah, pick on randoms in Twitch chat because I got bored. That's
Dragon,
a pastime and a half.
Truly. Dragon going to be up in a little less than a minute here. As Loud trying to make it 3 dragons to 0 will be the Ocean Soul to play for in a little bit. See what they can get done here. I mean, this feels like a bit of a turning point for Cade. They've got to get something here. It just feels like they've had absolutely no purchase in this game. The gold lead's only been about 1,500, but and look, I'll hear the argument that maybe I'm just being clouded by prior games, but it's just been a little lifeless from Cade.
All right, so I think that the thing is that if they do nothing and they scale, they have Sivir.
Sure.
So I can understand where the logic is. I think the question becomes how easy is it for Sivir to function? And if the very small brief interaction in mid lane shows you anything, it's not overly. But that's not a 5v5. It's not with Sorolu in front. It's not with Wiser in front. And I do think that VKS have got an idea in their head about what they want to happen, how they want to play the game. Whether or not that comes to fruition, we will wait and see. As a good double stun connect is Envy as well.
Sorolu taken low. As you can see, Loud trying to approach this fight from a couple different angles here. Use it. A little far forward there. Shino, speaking of far forward, he's able to burrow himself out of trouble. The Tempered Fate does land onto 1. Deadly Flourish almost timed well. Scout of the Week not going to find Use it. Sorolu going forward with Earstill's Impact. Now Young Jay just going to take Shelly for a spin. Going to take her right into the tower. Going to get a couple turrets out of that. Young Jay hops out. Deadly Flourish lands onto 1. Envy forward with the Proto Belt. Right back out into the Spirit Realm. Ooh. After all that, are we going to get no blood spilled? Scout of the Week not going to find its mark either. You got one member on the wrong side of the river, on the wrong side of the mid lane, I should say, as the objective is still the dragon.
Yeah.
But now they're down a member, and Envy can't TP.
Still a lot of ultis available as well. Still got Curtain Call the pack ready. On the other side of things, Pop Blossom still available, Impale up as well, but Sorolu has very little HP to work with, and it's a lot of pretty colours, but nobody goes down.
Yeah.
Well, they found Bull.
Ooh. Or did they? Man, what a cheeky flash. Curtain Call goes out.
They're going to get the
Cerule's
Drake
gonna
as
eat all
well.
of them, and they're not going to get anything out of this. Now a TP coming in here from Shino. As he goes in and tries to get everybody going, but the impact does the Impale does absolutely nothing. Young Jay grabs public execution, but nothing doing there. Young Jay going forward now. Does Loud get a couple kills? They did get that dragon earlier, not for nothing,
hey,
which is no prio whatsoever. And now it's Baron time. This is just a mess for Cade.
I mean, if they get Baron here, they could very well just close out this game off the back of their the sequences that are going to come from this. Seo's not going to be able to get to Infinity Edge before Dragon spawns. I mean, yes, it's 4.5 minutes away, but this guy is so far away from even his second item that finding a third seems inconceivable. Here comes that ulti. Oh, Eclipse Shield. Not enough, actually, and it's going to be a takedown. Gino finds it. Find the Baron as well. And, I mean, Loud, they're just capitalizing on this. VKS, lifeless in this game 4.
Not the way you want to go out. If this is the end, I mean, look, you still got the lower bracket. You'll play. I don't even know who you would play. I'm not going to check the bracket. That's not important right now. But because Cade looked like I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see what Los and Fluxu look like tomorrow.
Yeah.
But good golly, Miss Molly. Yeah, I mean, look, I respect going for it, right? You got to rip that Pop Blossom. That's what it's there for against an immobile Jhin. But doesn't find it. See how the rest of this fight plays out. Yeah, Sorolu just kind of caught with nothing. He gets the Impale off, but no one's there to follow up.
Yeah, and they're using it there. Sorolu's using it to try and back away. It leaves Miryu exposed because he thinks that they're going to get pulled into him and they can layer the CC, get the scatter of the week on the 2 targets. But yeah, Miryu steps forward, ends up going down, and he's built a proto belt on Syndra, which is, again, good stuff. Sorolu ults Thin Air. He's also Thin Air.
Shino. Oh, nice predict there with the public execution. I'll say that was a predict. Sure, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Goodness.
Kaiwing will go
Don't
down.
look base.
Man, Loud, look how deep they are. What are we doing?
They got 2 kills, so I think they're doing good stuff. They found Seo and Kaiwing. And, this is one of those moments where Gino goes, yeah, guys, well done. You killed me. But at what cost, You've lost your tier 2 in the mid lane, tier 2 in the top lane. Your bot lane are dead. And, yeah, they're probably going to find a little bit more. Uzens is just portaling forward.
Ooh. Bard stun. Yeah, Bard stun barely clipped there. Miru goes down. Wow. That's a tough way to go. As now Envy on the board, and all of a sudden this game is getting blown open. TP comes in from Wiser. They're able to grab a kill onto Uzen, but will they get more? They still got the Baron push to play out here, Roodood. Still value to be gotten across the rip. Well, I say that. I mean, they're knocking on the door here, right? I mean, for a 20-minute Baron, you could do a lot worse.
You could do a hell of a lot worse here. They found like 3-4 turrets maybe. And all they've got to do now is go down bot side, set up vision, pick up soul, and then probably just win the game off the next Baron fight that they're going to take. Like, they took this Baron so early that actually having the legwork to take this down is going to be really, really difficult. As now Wiser 2v1 top side. What are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, Wiser not in a good spot here. Gonna call on the pack. Shino just does a lot of damage, man. The Titanic Hydra into the Spear of Shojin.
That is a very, very scary Rek'Sai. And on the
with
back
Grasp
of,
as well.
Yeah, with the Grasp.
On a laning champion as well.
Imagine.
He's been able to stack that up.
Ugh. Yeah, I got nothing for that one, man. It just...
That's all right.
Like, why? But Young Jake, yeah, now he's got the Cleaver as well. Helps himself out. Helps everybody out, really, if we're being honest. Gonna get a lot of value out of that Cleaver. But for Cade right now, I mean, you're down 7,000 gold at just the 24-minute mark, man. Your map is absolutely in tatters. Your 3 kills are on
taken
Miru.
top. Yeah.
Woof.
I mean, usually, my kills on my mid lane are excellent, but my mid laner didn't build Sork shoes, didn't build an actual second item. He can do a little shunt and move himself a little bit, but he can't actually do damage just yet. I think you can get away with going one of them. You can either go Lucidity Boots, or like Lucy's Boots, or Mercs,
but they need
or Proto Belt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like you can get defensive boots and or Proto Belt. You can't get both. Like, this Syndra can try to one-round Bull. Bull's not going to die.
No. No, I think, yeah, you want, I mean, Ludens, right? Or something. But the death cap is coming in.
Yeah.
Will it be too little, too late? Or mirror, you see those two
Whether or not-
NLRs in his inventory.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and it's whether or not Sayo can get to Infinity Edge as well. Like, again, so far away, it's absolute depression era when you go back to base and you have to buy the crit cloak of Infinity Edge. And look at Envy here, absolute super flank. I think he's going to be spotted though.
Tempered Fate not going to find anything from Loud, but they've got other ways to start a fight. The curtain call over the top as well from Bull. Going to rip right through Sorolu. Now it's actually starting to do a little more damage. Bull gets the damage onto Sorolu enough to kill him. Deadly Flourish won't find anything, but they got one. And without a jungler, that is Soul over to Loud.
Yeah, and they can't really do too much to stick around it either. Their top side is getting absolutely obliterated by super minions. Their bot side is about to get obliterated by champions. And Loud with an 8k gold lead, they are probably going to see themselves too. A 3-1 victory here. They had their fun in game number 3. They got to pick some fun champs and see if they could make it work. Ultimately, they couldn't. So instead, they put the fries in the bag for game 4, pick up some standard champs, and they should be able to see themselves through to a continuation of their journey in the upper bracket.
It's been it's been a masterclass here in game 3, man. And in the first couple games, they overcame a lot of adversity. Game 3, bit of a blip for sure. Miru had himself a monster game, but yeah. Loud just have looked streets better in this one. Look, I guess it's not over yet. We've seen crazier things, Roodood, but just IK don't look like they have any answers. And again, once CEO, once he gets to that IE, right? If you can get that
That's
in the death cap
item, by the way.
the next, for the next fight, but I guess
and Sayo can't get. Sayo's not getting Infinity Edge next item either, so he needs like 5,000 gold.
Yeah,
which
opting for that.
Even if he killed everybody on Loud, I don't think he's getting 5,000 gold. Plus every minion on the Rift, plus all of the jungle camps. Like between now and the next Drake or the Baron or whatever, like there's just no way that Sayo gets that gold. So it's nigh on impossible, really. And I think that at this point you say, okay, Miru, you get your death cap, and we pray that that's enough. But even at that stage, like, who does that actually mean that you can kill? Well, you probably can't kill Gino because he's got a boatload of HP. You kill Young Jane, he comes back to life. You can kill Aurora. You can maybe kill the Jhin.
Yep.
But ultimately, like, they're actually not the carries in this game.
No. Yeah, no, and then, you kill Aurora, you kill the Jhin. Congratulations. By the time you look up, there is 7 kills worth of Shino and Young Jae in your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. Loud, again, continuing the neutral objective masterclass, have gotten literally everything. So that is 9 neutral objectives to 0.
Yeah, Young Jae just having very much a heater here in this one. Picks up an extra Dirk just for good measure. Shadow Flame picked up, Lord Dom's picked up. And it's all coming through here for Loud. One last dance, I imagine, as they try to take out the bot lane tier 2 before they start making final headway on the base of VKS.
Now I'm going to see if they can get something here. Cade do get a successful Pot Blossom off, but the Tempered Fate's going to buy their team a little bit of time. Use it. Might be the Sacrificial Lamb here. Young Jae just rips through Miro. That's your win condition, at least for the temp for the now. Just completely wiped out. Envy able to get forward. Now they're just partying in Loud's base. Highwing will get out of trouble, but Wiser, not much longer for this world. Envy creating some very good space. Shino creating space as well. Bull's going to rip through that mid lane tier 3. The inhibitor's next on the menu. Cade are scattered to the winds. They've got nothing, Roodood. It's just Wiser, and Sorolu's just a bag of health. And guess what? He gets obliterated. Loud up 12,000 gold now. Let's dot some I's. Let's cross some T's. Let's go home, baby.
Yeah, this should be the game here. They've got a half HP Nexus turret. Loud have 4 members standing strong, and Ocean Soul at their back, and a wave on the way.
Deadly Flourish not going to find anything, and it literally doesn't matter. Young Jay is too gosh darn strong. Bull just playing with his food. It's a 3-1 for Loud. It doesn't negate the game 3, but man, does it kind of feel like it did. I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you don't draft like buffoons, for lack of a better word. Like, hold on, we've got some... Wait, cameraman, what are you doing? Okay, somebody in the ops room. I mean, maybe they knew what was coming up. Okay. He showed something to the camera. The camera panned away from it. We come back to see it was ripped. We have no idea what was on there.
Maybe it was a 3-0.
I'm asking him on Twitter.
Yeah, we'll see. Twitter will have, I mean, somebody must have picked up, or someone with inside knowledge will know what the heck was going down there. But yeah, that's a bit of a tragedy that we don't get to see that. Cade, heads hung, nothing they can do. Yeah, that was a depressing series if you're a Cade fan. I mean, it just went exactly the way you thought it would. And now you've got a date in the lower bracket with somebody. But again, we'll see how Fluxu and Los Grandes look tomorrow. But it was suboptimal, that showing from Cade. Loud, they look like the best version of themselves, man. With Young Jay playing, flipping heads more often than he's flipping tails. With this team looking like that, right, and this aggression really paying off for them, and Shino playing like a rock star on a bunch of different on a bunch of different picks, it must be said, on a couple different styles as well. I mean, shoot, it's just the top side has been carrying them. They look so solid, Rooted.
Yeah, they really do. And I think that's a really good look for them, right? That's obviously very exciting that Loud have come back to being a really good team. And the VKS sort of on Brandly have had a stinker. A similar result to what we saw from last week as well, where they lost 2-0. I mean, it was the same thing here. If it was a best of 3, they would have been 2-0 out of it. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty rough one for VKS fans, I'd say.
Yeah, and especially after that, I don't think that. So probably will be Loud versus Furia because Red will have the right to choose. Not Loud. They will have the right to back out of this matchup should they want to. So, yeah, it's looking a little bit rough for Furia as they're going to have a heck of an opponent to contend with. But that should be a slapper. That Furia Loud matchup, I could see that going any which way. Two flawed teams going at it in a rock fight with a trip to the semis on the line should be a good one. Only one MSI spot for Brazil. 2 world spots, but 1 MSI spot. So gonna be fighting for that as we roll on here. I think it's gonna do it for us. Roodood, pleasure as always, my friend. Thank you to Dia in the production room. Thank you to our viewers for watching and listening with us. I've been 4x4. Again, Loud take it 3-1. They move on to the next round. Cade get dumped down into the lower bracket. We will see you here. Yes. No stream tomorrow. All right, no stream tomorrow. Apologies. Hey, we're volunteers. Stuff happens. We will not have a stream tomorrow, unfortunately. Yeah, so go watch the CBLOL. Kiss your mom, even if it wasn't Mother's Day tomorrow. Still, kiss your mom, tell her you love her, and spend that day with those you love, regardless. So for all those people, I've been 4x4. We'll see you back here next week. Thank you for watching.